Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Welcome into Timeline T. I am your host, The Sandy, aka Sandy Duzume Jr. Thursday. It's a big Thursday. NFL schedule being released. We got Kyle Shanahan talking crazy about the quality of QBs he has. And a whole bunch of NBA talk. So it's a very diverse stream today. A little bit of everything. Definitely going to be touching on the NFL schedule. It officially gets released tonight, but there's been leaks throughout the day. I have collected the majority of the ones that I think are pertinent. We're going to chop it up about it. If you laid money on the NFC East last year, like myself, specifically on the Eagles, because they had the easiest schedule, I'd stay away from the Eagles this year. No shade to the Eagles, fly, but the hardest schedule in the league. Little spoiler alert. All right. Let the beat ride up for a few, then we'll chop this up. Oh, man. Heading into Hump Day, coming off of Hump Day, heading into the weekend. A lot of NBA action. Anthony Davis, we have an update there. Lake Show can breathe a sigh of relief. NBA commentators making a lot of fun of a man getting hurt last night. Even though it's Anthony Davis and he has the street clothes thing and, alternate day and all of that stuff. I've never seen so many experts, analysts, pundits openly laugh and mock at a player of Anthony Davis' stature getting hurt. Why are they allowed to just laugh at someone who's hurt? You tell me in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, you tell me in the comments. All right. Let's go ahead and chop this up and get into it. Let the beat ride out. All right, the NFL schedule has leaked. Let's go ahead and tap right in, hit that screen. You see what it is. The strength of schedule, it gets released 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Was considering a live stream, but got some things going on tonight. Would not be able to do that. But you see the strength of schedule off rip. And let me go ahead. Let me jump back real quick. I want to make sure I get the right mouse with the zoom. Get the pro mouse ready. Okay, we have that. All right, cool. Back into the screen. All right, so we see after having the easiest schedule last year, it's now flipped. It's now the Philadelphia Eagles have the strongest schedule or hardest schedule, however you want to classify it, the strength of schedule, their opponent's win percentage. Now, again, this is based off last year's results, right? So teams can fall back. So this could not be a true marker of their, strength of schedule. But to me, this number last year was damn near flipped. They had the easiest schedule last year, and that's why I hammered all the overs I could on their win totals coming out the NFC, so on and so forth. But as you see it right here, a 566 win percentage for the Philadelphia Eagles, the hardest strength of schedule. And you see right behind them is the AFC East. So just like we've been previewing it here on this stream, the AFC East and the NFC East both have ridiculously strong schedules. And now this year we have the AFC South and the NFC South have the weakest schedules. So again, place your bets accordingly. This is not betting advice. I'm just letting you know you can do a lot of math and let the math, and then you can kind of read in between the lines. So the strongest strength of schedule, we have the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Commanders all right there, along with the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Bills all right there. So there it is again. The AFC and NFC East have all the most difficult schedules. So if you're placing bets, that's what you need to look out for. That's the type of information you want to take care of. That's the type of information you want to make sure you tap in on, because I'm telling you, last year, I made quite a lot of bread jumping in on stuff like this and hammering a lot of futures. Just saying, if you want to kick your boy back a nice little 5-10% if you hit, the tip jar link is in the description. Boogie Down, what's good? You didn't miss nothing too much yet. We just getting started. The NFL schedule has leaked for the most part, and we're tapping in. So let's go ahead and keep going. Week 1, the primetime games are set. Thursday Night Football will kick off Lions at Chiefs. Sunday Night Football will be Cowboys at Giants. And Monday night, Bills at Jets. So you're looking at Cowboys, Giants division game, Bills at Jets division game, but you always lead off with the Super Bowl champs. So you have the Chiefs at the crib with the Lions, who are thought to be a very exciting team, even though draft night, especially rounds one and two with their first couple of picks, little shaky in the light. But with Jameson Williams being fully healthy, well, now he's got the suspension, right? He's going to get the suspension because of the betting. So you're going to miss Jameson Williams again. But, it's going to be a thing of the Lions are thought to be an up-and-coming team, a team on the rise. You put them on the road against the defending Super Bowl champs. And most likely Mahomes should have his new money by then. So he'll be able to walk into that game with the newly record of, highest paid player in the NFL and all that stuff. So they'll be talking all night about that, assuming they can get the extension done. But yeah, Cowboys always want to get that spotlight. And I know Boogie Down's in the comments, sick of the Cowboys. I mean, we all are, and I'm surprised Corey's not in here. But, the Cowboys always get that primetime spotlight because of the popularity. So Cowboys at Giants, that's a tough game to start the season for both teams. Because, again, if you look at this, both teams have a hard-ass schedule, bruh. Both teams. Giants have the third hardest schedule, and the Cowboys have the fifth hardest schedule. So, that's not going to be a cakewalk. That's a hard game to start with. And let's see if Daniel Jones, who just got a bag, 40 M's a year, if you count the funny money, let's see if Daniel Jones could go out here and earn that bread in week 1 and make the Giants fan base feel confident in what he could bring to the table. And then Monday night, you have the big game. So they're going to be at MetLife 2 nights in a row. We're going to MetLife. We're going to be out here in the swamps of Jersey, out here in East Rutherford, as you're going to be looking at MetLife with the Giants emblems all over the place. And then you'll spin the block and come back 24 hours later, and you'll have all the Jets green and white paraphernalia all over the same arena. So, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, big QB matchup, huge divisional matchup. Like, that's the thing with these games. These games can really set the tone for the division. Because these games, there's only 17 of them. These games, well, not less so with the Lions and the Chiefs, but the Sunday Nighter and the Monday Nighter, these games could go a long way towards tiebreakers, division championships, like, making one team be the division winner as opposed to another team being a wild card. Like, they do this by design. So these are important games. These are spotlight games. These are teams that all matter. Lions, less so, but I felt in theory they were trying to get them, to put them in that spotlight. But then why did you bang Jameson Williams for 6 games with the gambling if you were trying to put him out there on Thursday night against Mahomes and them? But, that's a story for another day. But these are some interesting games I think we're going to start off with for prime time. We head back to the chat, Boogie Down. NFL is infatuated with the Cowgirls, and Dak Prescott is mid at best. Now, that's facts. I'm not the biggest Dak guy. He's also trying to get more bread, by the way, because, again, Daniel Jones now makes Dak Prescott money in terms of total value. So Dak Prescott, he's trying to get paid too. So let's see who beats who to week 1 get in their bag. Is it going to be Mahomes or is it going to be Dak? Let me move this down a little bit. Yeah, so both those guys are trying to get their paychecks enhanced, and we'll see if that happens by week 1. But that's one set of scenarios. So you have your Thursday night games, Lions at Chiefs, Cowboys at Giants, Bills at Jets. So a lot of big names, a lot of big teams, division rivalries, and the Super Bowl champs get their spotlight. But speaking on, is this going to the Giants thing next? No, we'll keep it going with the highlight game. So Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So this is where, they're really trying to expand. Amazon is jumping in heavy, throwing bags. I think they threw $100 million to secure the rights to get a Black Friday game. So, we're looking at Thanksgiving, but you get your usual Lions again. So again, the Lions not only are getting the Thursday night opening game primetime look, but they're also going to get their usual, Thanksgiving spotlight, and they're going to be facing the Packers. Jordan Love on Thanksgiving, I'm checking out. I mean, maybe I'll be, trying to holler at some sweet potato pie, some yams or something by that point. But early in the day like that, or maybe a little turkey bowl, outside with some of the homies during that game because I got no interest outside of fantasy and maybe a couple of bets in Jordan Love on Thanksgiving. So I'm really not trying to tap in with that. It'll be at the Commanders and the Cowboys. So obviously the Lions and the Cowboys get their usual spotlights, but the Commanders, a team that, could be exciting. Eric Bieniemy, but they're running out here with Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett. I'm not watching that. I'm tapping out. Hopefully at this point I'm grubbing at 4:30 Eastern. I should be grubbing, and I'm probably in the mid of catching the itis somewhere. So again, Jordan Love on Thanksgiving. I'm good, love, enjoy. I'm probably outside playing turkey bowl with the homies. Come inside, start to grub up a little bit, go ham. Well, not ham, not for me anyway. No pork on my fork, but go ham in regards to knocking down some grub at 4:30 with the Commanders and Cowboys. Even though for me, I'm probably knocked out from going ham. Again, no pork on my fork from that first or second plate. And then at least we get a good game at night. You get the 49ers at Seahawks. And again, this is a rumor as of right now, but we're looking at San Francisco at Seattle for that night game that, has been hit or miss. I mean, for such a long day, Thanksgiving is a long day, especially if you're traveling, you're with family, you're trying to catch up with people, you're trying to, do the family thing. And here comes the NFL trying to commoditize the nighttime with the shits when you're trying to spend time with your family. So that one's a rough one. These three games really low key are kind of trash. That none of them stand out as must-see matchups. 49ers at, Seahawks, all right, I guess, but I'm not really enthralled by that. The Black Friday game, that's a game to me where it's like, oh, okay, Black Friday, you go out and you do the sales thing, or most of us are doing it online anyway, but you go ahead and you do the cyber sales, the Black Friday sales, and then you come back to the crib. And now at 3 p.m. Eastern, you got Dolphins at Jets, which at this point could really matter. Assuming Tua hasn't been concussed by then, assuming Aaron Rodgers hasn't gotten his immunized, talk off, both QBs should be upright and healthy. Both of these teams, barring injuries, should be at the top of fighting for the top of their division. This is the best game out of these four. Thanksgiving, I'm saying right now, you can go ahead and just do whatever you want on Thanksgiving. None of these games are making me head back inside to sit down in front of the TV and watch. All these games are background noise. Okay? But this Black Friday game, this is a game where after you hit up your spots to get the Black Friday sales popping off, you might head back to the crib and not lock it down for Dolphins Jets. Dolphins Jets, Tua versus Aaron Rodgers. Tyreek Hill versus Sauce. It's a lot of stuff going on there. I'm not mad at that. I'm tapping in with Dolphins at Jets. So I like that. Thomas, what's good, man? Thank you for pulling up. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. If you haven't already, I do appreciate that. Lets YouTube know that y'all are enjoying the content so far. Thomas, 49ers and Seahawks should be a good one. It should be. But here's the thing, Thomas. Are you locked in on it, though? That's my question. If you're at the crib and you're catching up with fam, are you really going to tune that out just to watch the game? I don't know. That might be a decent game. It should be on paper, but technically that could be Brock Purdy versus Geno Smith. Again, for this league who puts such an emphasis on the quarterback position, if we're looking at a game that could potentially be, Brock Purdy versus Geno, we're watching for the star players, right? We're watching for all the other guys on the 49ers. We're watching for McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle. We're watching for, DK Metcalf. We're watching for, JSN. Smith and Jigba's going to be out there. They just restructured Tyler Lockett's deal. Kenneth Walker is a problem in the backfield. So you're kind of watching for everything but the QB position, and it is a rivalry game. So I can understand why, it should be a good game. My thing is, I don't know if that matchup, for a Thanksgiving night game, if you want me to stay up, if I'm on the East Coast, this is me staying up to 11 o'clock midnight on Thanksgiving night, bruh. If you want me to do that, it's got to be better than this. You want me to stay up to midnight for some Brock Purdy? I don't know, bruh. I can't bring myself to do that for no Brock Purdy, man. I can't do that. Who else they got over there? They got Sam Darnold over there, and nah, man, you want me to stay? If it ain't Purdy, They need to flex that game out. If it ain't Brock Purdy, they need to flex that game. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Boogie Down. Is it me, or do they purposely schedule bad games on Thanksgiving? Well, they're kind of stuck, Boogie Down. They're stuck with the Lions, right? Because that's tradition. Like, we're stuck with the Lions and Cowboys because of tradition. So it's either make it a division game or make it a sexy matchup. The problem is this year with the Packers and Lions, they're making it a division game. But the problem is the Packers, like, it's Jordan Love. No one cares about that. Like, if Aaron Rodgers was still there, that's easy, right? And I think they did the Bears last year, so you can't run it back with the Bears. You could do the Vikings here. You could do Vikings Lions. You know, Dalvin Cook probably won't be there, but, you know, you still got Kirk Cousins, still got Justin Jefferson. You still got some good names on that Vikings team. But, like, the fact that we're getting Jordan Love, because all they're going to do is talk about how Aaron Rodgers isn't there. And what if Jordan Love is mid or worse than that coming into this game? There's going to be no storylines to talk about unless the Lions are killing. And then, you know, you're always stuck with the Cowboys on Thanksgiving because that's also a tradition, and because they're one of those popular teams, it's a layup. They're always going to give us the Cowboys. They're never going to move off of that. I could see a point in time where they might move off the Lions. They'll get a lot of pushback, though, but they will never move off the Cowboys. So the thing with the Cowboys is you either make it an interesting interdivisional, inter-conference matchup, like you have them face a good team from the AFC, or you just make it a division game. And they're going to make it a division game. But again, it's not going to be the Giants because we're getting that on, what's that, the Sunday Night Football? Yeah, we're getting that on Sunday Night Football. So you can't do that. And we're not getting Eagles. Eagles Cowboys would have been great on Thanksgiving. That would have been, I'm tapped in. Commanders is like the worst of the three. Just like the Packers are the worst of the three other potential matchups in that division, because you could have went Bears, but you did that last year, so you can't do that. And you could have sold the Vikings because of, you know, Justin Jefferson and his popularity in the league. But to give me Packers just because it's Jordan Love, that's a hard sell to me. Boogie Down. All three of these games just seems like a snooze fest. All of them have lacking luster QB. Yeah, I mean, it's really just not that good of a matchup in terms of QBs. Like, the best QB we're getting on Thanksgiving is Dak Prescott. Think about that. The best quarterback we're getting on Thanksgiving is Dak Prescott. Unless you're a believer in Purdy, or if you just want to roll with Geno because of the melanin. Like, that's the best you're getting. The best QB play you're going to get is going to be at 4:30 Eastern, where it could potentially be Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett and Dak Prescott. That's not, like, imagine that graphic. Imagine that graphic coming in, like, as they promo the game, and it's Sam Howell on the left and Dak Prescott on the right. Or let's paint a scenario where Dak is hurt, and it's Sam Howell on the left and Cooper Rush on the right. Like, bruh, flex that shit. Get that out of here. Nobody trying to see that, bruh. Nobody trying to see that, bruh. But, you know, that's going to be hella problematic. That's hella problematic, man. Thomas, Black Friday game is a must-see. Yeah, I like the Dolphins Jets. I like that. I like that Amazon is putting their bread up $100 million, even though they're laying off hella people. So now we know where to get in that $100 million from. Either that or everyone signing up for Amazon Prime, either one. But yeah, so the Black Friday game should be pretty good. Dolphins at Jets. I like that one. That one could be a game where if I'm done with the shopping, whether online or in store, I can see rushing to get back to the crib to see Dolphins at Jets. Thomas, I don't know who the QB for the Commanders. Dog, bruh. If it wasn't for this stream and me locking in on football, which I haven't done in a few years in terms of come from content, because I've been doing so much NBA, going on radio shows and live streams doing NBA, I probably wouldn't know either. Even playing fantasy every year, I wouldn't know. But it is Sam Howell and or Jacoby Brissett. So imagine. And again, they have a hard-ass schedule, bruh. The Commanders have, what, the 7th hardest schedule? 8th hardest schedule. Commanders have the 8th hardest schedule based off their opponent's win percentage from last year. So the strength of schedule is the 8th hardest in the league. And you're going into this year with Eric Bieniemy, which is great. And I'm glad he's finally getting a shot, and he's going to do play calls and all of that to prove all the naysayers wrong. Even though, again, 2 other assistants under Andy Reid had that same distinction of Eric Bieniemy, and they did not play calls just like Eric Bieniemy, and they were still able to get head coaching jobs. But again, another stream for another day. We know what that's about. But yeah, the Commanders are going in here with the 8th most difficult schedule, and they're running around here with your man Sam Howell and or Jacoby Brissett as their QB1. Book it down. I never really cared for NFC East teams, to be honest. I could tolerate the Eagles now, but the guys only on the team. But guys, the only team. But I mean, see, as someone that grew up here in the East, like obviously surrounded by Giants fans, surrounded by, Cowboys fans and even Philly fans, it's a weird division to just kind of be able to just watch and not really be a part of, because when I was a fan of a football team, it was neither of those teams. I was a Bears fan. But now that I'm a fan of no team and I could just watch other people be fans, it's kind of funny just to watch the way that people put on their glasses and it's just be blinders. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just my team is the best. I don't care about nobody else's team, and they're locked in on their team, and they have no idea of what's going on with the other teams in their division. So yeah, I can understand that mentality. I was not a fan of the Cowboys growing up. Having family in the South, in that part of the South didn't help matters, but I was still not a fan. And yeah, being able to grow up here on the East, you got no choice but to deal with Giants fans and Eagles fans. And then, you head down to the DMV, well, I won't say the former name of the team, but the Washington football team was always a thing. Has the Commanders name grew on y'all? It has not grown on me. I really think they should have stuck with Washington football team. But again, another stream for another day. All right. So now I think we can get to the Giants. So speaking of a team in the NFC East, boogie down, look how difficult this potential stretch could be. Again, this was leaked. It's not official yet. The official announcement comes out at 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? But the leaked New York Giants schedule has a brutal start. So we already know they're starting off Monday night, or what's that, Sunday night? Where is it? Sunday night at home against Dallas, right? So we got that. Home for the Cowboys. Then they go out west right after that. And look at these games in a row. At Arizona. Now, in theory, no Kyler Murray, so that shouldn't be difficult, but it is a trip out west, right? Then they stay out west because they got to play the 49ers. And as someone who has had to do the cross-country trips for work and even for family events, I just did the whole East Coast to West Coast flight a few weeks ago. You do not want to keep doing that back-to-back weeks. So they're going to stay out west. That was one of the things that I hated. But when I used to, I had a media job for CBS and I had to travel a lot. Those back-to-back weeks doing West Coast, East Coast to West Coast, brutal, absolutely brutal. So, they stay out west because they got to go up to Santa Clara and face the 49ers. That's going to be a difficult game. Then they come home, so you fly back 6 hours and you face the Seahawks. Not an easy game. Then you go down to South Beach and everything that comes along with Collins Ave. And now the Dolphins are actually good, so that South Beach flu is a real thing. And now you got to face Tyreek Hill when you might be hungover. That's not and then you got to face Jalen Waddle when you're hungover. That could be a problem. That's not an easy game. Then you go up to Buffalo and face Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and all of them, Kincaid, and all of them. Not an easy game. Then you troop it down to Washington to face the Commanders. Division game. Can't expect that to be a layup unless it is Sam Howell. We would assume it's going to be Jacoby Brissett, but maybe it is Sam Howell. Then they finally get back to the crib and they have a home game against the Jets, but it's against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, not Zach Wilson, not your man's Mike White, and not Joe Flacco, but Aaron Rodgers. Then you go on the road again to the West Coast, another 5-hour flight, and you face the Raiders out there in Vegas. So now you got the Strip. You got to deal with, South Beach in week 5, and then I deal with the Strip in week 9. Then after that, fly back to the East Coast just to fly back to the to the South, another 3.5, 4-hour flight to face the Cowboys. This is a brutal stretch if you're the New York Giants. And the New York Giants had a very favorable schedule last year. Eagles, by the metrics, had the easiest schedule, but I believe the Giants were third easiest schedule, and they took advantage of it. While everyone was like so surprised and all of that, like, oh, the Giants are great. I'm like, no, they just got the easiest schedule. Having an easy schedule matters, yo. And now this year, they do not have an easy schedule. So I believe we saw the over-unders. Let me see if I can pull that up here. I think, yeah, our guy Warren Sharp had it on his website. Let's see if we can find it here. Because, see, again, he's had this for a minute in terms of the strength of schedule, April 13th. If you want to compare this to, what the league has had, the 5 easiest schedules, the 5 hardest schedules, it very much lines up with what the NFL put out. But let's see. Okay, updated lines. Let's see. We want to look up the Giants line. 8.5. 8.5 wins. That's their total. I think their total last year was 5.5. Easy win. Easy win to go over on that, right? Now we're looking at the Giants with, 8.5 plus 105 if you want to place that bet. That's a tough one. When you're looking at this schedule that they have, that's a tough one when you're looking at this stretch. How many wins y'all see in here? Arizona on the road, 49ers, home for the Seahawks, on the road Miami, on the road Buffalo, on the road Washington, home game Jets, on the road Raiders, on the road Cowboys. How many wins you see in here? And again, this is Daniel Jones. Okay, I know Dayball is getting a lot of props and all of that stuff because he found a way to magically, make Daniel Jones stop fumbling all over the place, and he unleashed allegedly Vanilla Vic. But how many wins you see right in here? And this is after a Sunday night game at home with Dallas. So they're playing Dallas twice in 10 weeks. So they get Dallas out the way early at least. You don't even see the Eagles here yet. And they did this last year where they crowbarred 2 Eagles games. I think they played Eagles 2 out of the 4 weeks. I think they played them twice in December last year or something close to that effect. And look like they're staggering the schedule again like that. And again, this is leaked. This doesn't necessarily mean this is going to be 100% accurate in this layout, but this is what was leaked earlier today. If they do this, bro, I don't see no more than 3 wins in here. And that's generous. I think Arizona's a win, or at least it should be a win. Arizona should be a win. Washington should be a win. And I think Las Vegas should be a win. Now, can they sneak up and grab one of these other games that should be a loss? Maybe. Can they take care of Seattle at the crib? Maybe, because now Seattle has to make that cross-country flight. That's a 5-6 hour flight for them. So that could be a thing. Could they beat the Jets and Aaron Rodgers at the crib? Maybe. Maybe. But that's kind of the thing. Like if the Giants are 8.5 for their win total, it's hard to justify taking the over. I don't know if I see 9 wins. If I only see 3 right here, you would have to assume they're going to split with the Cowboys, right? So they're either going to beat the Cowboys week 1 at home, or they're going to beat them week 10 at Dallas. That's 4 wins out of 10 weeks. That's 4 and 6. There's 7 games left. And they have to run off 5 out of 7. Including with 2 games against the Eagles that we haven't seen yet. Like I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. That's a hard number. That's a hard number, and that's why it's betting, because that's a real bet. You're gonna sweat this one out, I think. If you take the over and think the Giants are gonna win 9 games or over 8.5 games, I think you're gonna sweat that one out. Hit the chat. Thomas, yeah, Washington football team was better. Yeah, I agree, bro. The Commanders is trash, and we know the other name was racist. Yeah, I think Washington football team, that was the one. That was one. But, you know, it's not surprising Daniel Snyder tricked that off as well. Thomas, no, so Barkley, they better sign him quick. I say 4 or 5 wins. I mean, well, they got him on a franchise tag, Thomas. So I think he'll eventually show up. He'll pull up to take the franchise tag. I don't think he's going to hold out. But he has not, to your point, he has not yet signed a franchise tag. So it's possible he could, stand 10 toes down and not show up. But he is on the franchise tag. So it's more than likely he will show up. So now if you're saying 4 to 5 wins with no Saquon, now if they have Saquon, it's most likely they're going to have Saquon. Now how many wins do you think they'll have? If they have 5 wins without Saquon, how many do you think they have with him? But that's where we're at here, man. These schedules are being released. There's a lot of data that we're looking at. And I think this is hella problematic if you're a Giants fan. Let's see if Warren Sharp and them got any other stuff we could pull up here and analyze. Giant stuff. Don't care about that. Okay, so yeah. Official, the Giants are the first team to be forced to play on the road 7 times in the first 10 weeks of the season since the NFL reinstated bye weeks in 1990. The NFL has never forced a team to play on the road in 7 of the first 10 weeks or in 7 of their first 10 games until now. And remember, this is a computer doing all this. There's people that arrange the computer and tell it the parameters of how to do the schedule, but the computer generates the schedule. So this here was an interesting tweet. I did not pull it for the stream, but now that we're here, why not? Losing seasons in the last 10 years. The Cleveland Browns have 9 losing seasons in the last 10 years. You know what type of poverty that is, bruh? Can that change this year? The Giants, the Jets, and the Jaguars have 8 losing seasons in the last 10 years. And then you look at the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years, but overall, they've had 7 losing seasons in the last 10 years. Then you throw in the Commanders, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Falcons. Bears, Lions, and Denver have 6 losing seasons. Like, it's all downhill. But you look at the cream of the crop here. Kansas City Chiefs have 0 losing seasons in the last 10 years, and the Pittsburgh Steelers salute to Mike Tomlin. Even last year when it looked like he wasn't going to be able to squeeze one out, he was able to keep it rolling, keep the streak alive. 0 losing seasons in the last 10 years. All right. So come off the screen there for a second. Let me set up this next part. All right. And again, we now know what the games are, the first 2 games are. And if you want to place a bet, again, I'm not here to give you betting advice. I'm just here to show you the information. If you want to make any bets week 1, so far, the Chiefs are -7 and the total is 54. And if you're going to do the Bills and the Jets, which is Monday Night Football, it's a pick 'em right now with the total being 47. I think I would take a little action on the total there, but little juice on the total there, but you didn't hear that from me. But just saying. So, and I showed you the thing with the Browns and the fact that how many years? The Browns have had 9 losing seasons in the last 10 years, right? So now we have this. The quarterbacks that the Browns are selected to face in 2023. Tell me, is this streak going to continue? They're going to have Deshaun Watson for a full year. So him and Amari Cooper, Njoku, Nick Chubb, they can still cook up. They got Elijah Moore. So they can still cook up. But now, and we're assuming Myles Garrett will be healthy. But in terms of 9 losing, let me just move this window over. Stand by. Yeah, 9 losing seasons in the last 10 years. Can they break that streak with what they're facing this year? They got the Ravens twice, obviously, so that's Lamar Jackson twice. They got the Bengals twice, so that's Joe Burrow twice. And they had the Steelers twice, which that means Kenny Pickett. Now, they also face Arizona. So that's either going to be Kyler Murray if it's later in the year or Colt McCoy if it's early in the year. They're going to face the Bears. That's Justin Fields. Going to face the Jaguars. That's Trevor Lawrence. They're going to face the Jets. That's Aaron Rodgers. They're going to face the 49ers. So whoever the hell is, at quarterback for the 49ers, and we have a story about that. We'll get there. They face Tennessee. So that's Ryan Tannehill. They face Denver. That's Russell Wilson. Like, this is starting to look real brutal. We ain't even get to the bottom yet. But just off this is rough. They face the Texans. That'll be C.J. Stroud. They face the Colts. That's either going to be Gardner Minshew, or if we believe the reports we read earlier in the week, could be Anthony Richardson if it's early. They face the Rams. That's Matthew Stafford. Then they face the Seahawks. That's Geno Smith. How many wins you see for this Browns team? I don't see a lot of wins here. Even with a healthy Deshaun Watson. Even with Deshaun Watson for a full year, with him and Amari Cooper, I just don't see it. A winning season? I don't know. You see 9 wins? You see 9 wins here? 9 is the new number for a winning season. Let's see. Where was that? Where's that chart at? What's the Browns at on here? Oh, yeah, right there. 9.5. Wow. They're high on the Browns. 9.5? That's a big number, bruh. That's a big number. Bruh. Oh, Boogie down. Okay. He's talking it up. Browns making the playoffs? Okay. I mean, but Boogie down, this is a hard schedule, no? Like, this is a rough schedule, bruh. Like, there's some cupcakes in there. You might get lucky and face the Cardinals early. I don't think the Steelers are going to be that formidable. You're at least going to get a split with the Steelers. So you got 1 dub there. You got a dub if it's Colt McCoy, and it might still be a dub even if it's Kyler Murray. So we'll give them that. That's 2 wins. Can the Browns split with the Ravens? Let's say they split in a division, right? So that's 3 wins. 3 wins. We do Kyler Murray. If they face Kyler Murray, let's give them 4 wins there. Are they going to beat the Bears? I don't know if they can beat the Bears. They're going to score points on the Bears, but I don't know if they can slow down Justin Fields with DJ Moore and Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney coming back. I don't know. Jacksonville? They could beat Jacksonville. The Jets? I don't know. The 49ers? I don't know. Tennessee? They could beat Tennessee. Denver? They should beat Denver. Texans, they should. Colts. Rams, in theory, they should. Seattle, I mean, it's. I think now that I'm really running this schedule down, if they do split in the division, that's 3 wins. If they get Arizona early, it's Colt McCoy. That should be a win. So that's 4. They could, in theory, beat the Bears. That's 5. Jacksonville, I mean, you can make a case for them winning all their games, right? But they're not going to go 18 and not going to go 17-0, right? So they have to lose to somebody, right? Like, yes, they could beat Justin Fields. They could beat Trevor Lawrence. They could beat Aaron Rodgers. They could beat the 49ers. They could beat, but we know that's not going to happen. The Browns are not going to go, like 15-2, okay? So if Vegas is telling you they're sitting at 9.5, even they got them losing, 6-7 games. So let's see if we can figure out the 6-7 games. If they split in the division, that's 3 losses, right? So there's at least 4 more losses amongst this group. There's 4 more losses. Let's go Aaron Rodgers. Let's go ahead and give him an L there. Now there's 3 more. You want to give them an L to the 49ers? Okay, there's 2 more. Justin Fields? Sure, there's 1 more. Maybe Seattle. That means they're beating LA, they're beating the Colts, they're beating the Texans, they're beating Tennessee, they're beating Denver. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's a good debate, and Boogie Down is making points. Only tough games are Bengals, Ravens, and Jets. Well, the problem is you got those Bengals and Ravens. You got them twice. There's a scenario where you could lose all 4 of those. Not saying they will, but there is a scenario where you don't split and you lose those. Niners don't have a QB. Your man's Kyle Shanahan would like to have a word with you, Boogie Down. And that will be the next story. Trust. So I will save that comment because while I agree with you, Kyle Shanahan thinks me and you are bugging. So we'll get there shortly. They can beat the Jags too. Yeah, they can beat. I mean, I think they're good enough that they could beat all these teams, right? I think they should at least split in the division. I think they could even sweep Pittsburgh if they do right. They should be able to at least split Pittsburgh, but they should be able to sweep Pittsburgh as well. Then it's about, are you catching the Cardinals early or late? If you catch them early and it's Colt McCoy, that should be a dub. Aaron Rodgers, do you catch him early or late? You would assume there's going to be some kinks to be worked out with the Jets offense early in the season with Aaron Rodgers. So if you want to face the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, you would prefer to do it early in the year and not later. So are you catching the Jets early in the year or later in the year? Because later in the year, assuming health is okay, they should be humming. They should be grooving out here. By like week 8 and 9, they should be moving. But if you catch them week 3 or 4, you might catch them still trying to figure shit out. You know, Garrett Wilson and Rodgers might not have that timing. So like that's a factor here, right? Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I think they had a sneaky good draft. Let's see how those pieces play off. Justin Fields and the Bears. The Bears are not for play. The Bears are not for play. Now, if Justin Fields is hurt, all bets are off. The Bears will go back to being trash. Tennessee, the Browns should be able to beat Tennessee. Denver, we don't know how they're going to look with Sean Payton. You know, they did what they could with the minimal draft picks they had. Not that much of free agency. I don't know. CJ Stroud in Houston. We'll see how D'Amico might have them boys flying around. And this is a Deshaun Watson return. Well, he returned to Houston. He returned to Houston last year, right? But like this is now Houston thinking they're on the come up, facing Deshaun Watson coming in. Now they got their new QB of the future in CJ Stroud and, you know, Will Anderson and all of that. Like, that game could have some interesting implications involved. The Colts, if it's Anthony Richardson and they allow him to cook, I don't think the Colts are for play. Stafford and the Rams, I think you could get that dub. And I think Seattle, your secondary better be ready that day. Your secondary better be ready. When you got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, your secondary better be ready. And then while you're worrying about those 3 dudes, here comes Kenneth Walker. So good luck with that. So I don't know. Seattle's a tough one. Let's see. Let's head back to the chat. Thank y'all for pulling up. I appreciate it. If y'all could drop that like, a brother would appreciate it. Scrub Zero, what's good, man? Thank you for pulling up. Don't overlook division rivals. Those games can always go left. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's no guarantee that, there's no guarantee that they can sweep the Steelers. There's no guarantee they're going to sweep the Steelers. They can split with all 3 of these, and they might get swept. You don't know. And you don't know because it depends on where in the schedule. You might be coming off, the Giants are screwed with 7 road games in 10 weeks. The Browns could have a similar type deal. Might be coming off a 3-game road trip, and then you got, here comes, Aaron Rodgers into your building. That ain't easy. That ain't a layup, whether you think they're invincible or not. You come off a 4-game road swing, and then here comes McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk with Bosa on the other side in your building. That ain't a layup. Boogie Down cards are trash. I mean, yeah, if you catch them early, they're trash. I think if you catch them with Kyler Murray coming back, they can score. They can score, though. Jets aren't invincible. No one says they are. But it depends when you catch them. The layout of the schedule, to me, matters. Thank y'all for the likes. I appreciate it. Eagles team to beat in the NFC until someone else proves them otherwise. Okay, Thomas. Okay. Hey, Thomas, I'm just telling you, though, they got the hardest schedule in the league, bruh. Now, they got the horses. If they keep drafting Georgia dudes, it won't matter, right? If they keep being the Philadelphia Bulldogs, it won't matter, right? You know, but ultimately, like, A.J. Brown has to stay at his level. Devonta Smith has to keep getting better. Dallas Goedert's got to stay healthy. You know, now they got DeAndre Swift. They got to incorporate him into the offense. That D-line, you know, I don't know if y'all saw it, but Jalen Carter's catching a lawsuit for a wrongful death lawsuit. Will this continue to play with his head? Even though he's going to be surrounded by, you know, all the dudes he played with in college, could the fact that he's going to be facing a wrongful death lawsuit with people that he was associated with in college, could that continue to mess with his head? We know what that did to him at his pro day and so on and so forth. Could that limit his impact? Jordan Davis in year 2, what does that look like? You know, they did lose some guys in the secondary. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they go. But I think in the NFC, it's going to be real tough. It's going to be real tough to handicap right now. I need to see the layout of the schedule for me. I think we'll be doing that heavily tomorrow on this stream. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe and tap in. But yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting to see how we go about it. But yeah, the Browns here, 9.5 wins for these Browns. 9.5. 9.5. That's a big number, bro. To me, that's a big number. I couldn't do it. Not right now. I got to see how the schedule lays out for me to go Browns 9.5. But we saw the Giants schedule. It's extremely difficult. A lot of road games early, and that's why their number is only 8.5. But if you want to go the other way, could the Texans win more than 5.5 games? Knowing that they have one of the easier schedules in the league? See, this is where you find value when you're betting. Find a team that, you know, is thought to be not that much, but has an easy schedule and see what happens. Like Thomas's Saints have an easy schedule, but 9.5 wins, that's a big number for the Saints. I'm not touching that. But the Falcons, with a similar easy schedule like the Saints, 7.5, with the weapons they have. And although, wait, have y'all seen the tweets that Desmond Ridder has liked? Let me know in the chat before I go there, because it's pretty crazy. Unless he's changed it. Have y'all seen the tweets that your man's Desmond Ridder has liked? He has shown us who he is. That's all I'll say. So let me know in the chat if y'all seen the Desmond Ridder tweets, or the tweets that he has liked. It's not him tweeting, but it's tweets he's liked. I'm sure we'll get a statement saying, you know, I was hacked, did it by mistake, whatever, but yeah. Okay, Boogie Down's putting money on it? You putting money on the Browns? Okay, 9.5, that's light. You think it's going to be easy dub? Okay, all right. I mean, it's good value. Plus 115, that's good value. Browns finna get in. Okay, all right. Hey, look, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna start keeping track of people's takes. I'm gonna start keeping track. All right, now Boogie Down, get hella early. This is May. May, you are already saying, I'm writing this down. I have a pen and I have a pad. You know what I'm saying? May 11th, Boogie Down. Putting you down for Browns in the playoffs and over 9.5 wins. Okay, it's on the record. It's on the record. All right. Okay, so let me come off the screen for a second and let me find the Desmond Ridder tweet. Yeah, Mans is showing us who he is. Let's see. Where is it? I did retweet it, so I would be able to access it. It was a screenshot of the tweet because I believe he's in the midst of trying to clean this tweet up. But let's see if he's dumb enough to still have the tweet up. Let me go there first. Let me go to his actual Twitter account. And I know you're not seeing it yet, but I just want to make sure before I put the screen up. Yep, there he is. Desmond Ritter. Likes. Oh, he took it away. Okay. All right. So I'll clue y'all in. All right. So Desmond Ritter. This is his account. He's got 24,000 followers, right? This is his account. You know his Twitter. There's no verified or whatever. He's not paying for the check. Cool. Fine. Atlanta GA, all that stuff, right? Cool. Now, these are his likes, right? Now, this is the last tweet is Eric from May 6th, the tweet that he liked, right? And you see here, just seeing a bunch of football stuff, right? Cool, right? Even Cincinnati, his alma mater, all that stuff, right? However, let's pull this up. Let me make sure I got it right first. Where is it? Is it right here? Yep. Okay. Desmond Ritter. You see the same account, right? You see the same following, the same followers. If you would have went to his likes, this is the tweet that he liked from Jesse Waters. We've now entered impeachment territory. This is the biggest political bribery scandal in American history, and it has national security consequences. The Biden family's been untouchable because they are the system. The FBI and the CIA are in on it. This is how to. So basically, he is pushing conspiracy, some would say MAGA rhetoric with his likes via his Twitter account. As you see, it was here, right? Because this is the same account. Same account, same avatar, same whatever, right? Same no blue check or whatever, all of that stuff, right? Same followers, same following, all of that. And this is his likes then, and this is what his likes are now. That tweet's gone. He unliked it. And that's why Boogie Down has his here. I'm sure he knew about it already. Yeah. Your man's Ritter. Believe people when they show you who they are. Just believe people. So even though Ritter, I believe, is biracial, I mean, certainly looks biracial. Yeah. Living his truth might not be, the melanin part might not be his truth. So just wanted to tell y'all about that real quick. Again, because this is Timeline T, and you see that tweet is now gone. He has unliked that tweet, but it was there a few hours ago. Okay. So your man's Desmond Ritter running around here thinking he could sneak off some likes that's showing his real truth. Nope. Anywho, let's move on to Boogie Down and Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan says the team has 3 franchise-like quarterbacks, Boogie Down, and Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy in terms of talent. I'll read that again. Kyle Shanahan says the team has 3 franchise-like QBs in Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy in terms of talent. The quote from Shanahan is, "We have 3 quarterbacks talent-wise who are all capable of being franchise-like quarterbacks." Who is Kyle Shanahan think he's lying to? Does he really think he could get this off in the year of our Lord 2023? Does he think he could really get this off? Insane. Boogie Down not seeing an issue. Well, if you would read the full tweet, and I'm not gonna put that tweet up here because I don't touch that type of shit because I don't care, quite honestly, what athletes like and dislike on Twitter. But it's just conspiracy nonsense, and it's just like, yo, dogs, like, you know, it's fine. It's whatever. Like I don't. And, you know, you can have your thoughts on Biden. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but when you're touching on the conspiracy stuff, that's when you lose me. If his opinion was just this, if his opinion was just what you put in the chat, Boogie Down, he's entitled to that opinion. But when then you use that point to jump out the window with conspiracy stuff, it's like, yo, come on, bro. Alex in the chat. How you doing, Alex? Alex. Oh, let me make sure. Alex, I'm working on the Discord. All right, so Alex, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. It's a duck, yeah. And Desmond Ridder is definitely walking and talking and looking like a duck right now. Yes, Alex Smith. Yes, Alex. Desmond Ridder is half black and half white. Yes, he is. He is biracial. Thomas, Sam Darnold couldn't cut it with the Jets or Panthers. He is not a franchise QB. Yeah, Thomas, like this is wild to me that Kyle Shanahan thinks we're this stupid. And this is where sometimes when they give people the expert label, I wish they would allow grace, because as great as Shanahan is, I don't know if he's this great to be able to lie to us like this. Okay. Like, I don't think he's this great for us to be lied to like this, to tell us that Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, who's played all of how many games? Oh man, I don't have the window up. All right, let me pull this window up. I think we looked up Trey Lance. I think he's only played like 8 games or some nonsense like that. Like, you're going to tell me somebody, and again, he's reaching, but he's using the caveat of talent wise. Okay. So he's able to get away with this type of quote because he's just saying talent wise, but we're not falling for that. Nope. We know what you're trying to say. We're not going to let you cook with that. We are not going to let you cook with that, bruh. No, I refuse. You're not going to get away with it. You said it with your chest that Trey Lance, who has played, 4 games? Well, no, 8 games. Started 4 games. He has started 4 games in his career. Let's go, Sam Darnold. Who has started 55 games and has only won 21 of those 55, is a franchise QB. And then, we could go to your man's Brock Purdy. No, I do not want to join StatHead. How many games? For 9 games? 5 games. Started 5 games. 5 games for your man's Brock Purdy. But again, his QB record is great because he's got all the talent in the world surrounding him. He's got McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle. Great offensive line. Trent Williams. I mean, come on. Scrub Zero, I got to get whatever Kyle Shanahan is on because man's must be on that good stuff. That's facts, though. That's why I was like, oh, no, we're talking about this. I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. This is crazy. This is nuts. This is insane. This is hella problematic. How are you going to lie to my face like this? How are you going to lie to me like this and tell me that Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy, in terms of talent, are all franchise-like QBs? I'll let you get away with Trey Lance because he's played so little. He still might could be that guy, even though we all know when they traded up, they weren't trading up for Trey Lance. They were trading up for Mac Jones, okay? But Belichick swooped in, and then they got stuck with Trey Lance. We all know that, right? But I'll even leave them the caveat of, okay, all right, Trey Lance still might possess the skill set to be a franchise QB. But you could tell me Brock Purdy is a franchise-like in terms of talent? Then why he last to what, the 6th round? Why Brock Purdy last to the 6th round, 7th round? Why he last to be Mr. Irrelevant? Why was he Mr. Irrelevant if he had the talent and the skill set to be a franchise QB, which includes the 49ers passing on him multiple rounds? Ridiculous. Stop lying to us. Stop lying. Just say, I like the QBs we got. I'm comfortable with where we're at. Why can't they just say the truth? Why do you have to then jump out the window like this and lie? This lie doesn't do anything. You think Trey Lance feels better about himself because Shanahan made these comments? You think Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy feel better about themselves? Brock Purdy's out here with Tommy John surgery. Brock Purdy doesn't know if he's going to be back week 1 or week 10. This doesn't matter to him. This is word salad. Ugh. Shanahan lying to us. Alex in the chat. Ritter's mom was 15 when she had him, and his dad was never a part of his life. Okay, that's good insight. 'Cause I don't know jack shit about Desmond Ritter, so that's good insight. Appreciate you, Alex. Alex always has people's bios. I like that because I do not. So that's good to help me out with that type of stuff. I appreciate that. Sam Darnold looking like the Lego firefighter. I mean, look, Darnold's just a weird dude, right? He's got a weird look about him. You know, he's a ginger, and no shade to gingers, but if you're a ginger, you have to have a certain look to pull off a ginger. And Darnold just is not that dude. Darnold is not that. He's just not that dude, man. I saw it here when he was with the Jets. I knew it early. I'm like, nope, this ain't it. This ain't it. Sometimes people get caught up in, well, he's a high draft pick, give him time. I'm like, no, sometimes you can see it right away. Sometimes like, I remember, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, it was the Jets' first home game. They were playing the Patriots, and I got to watch Zach Wilson live and direct. I was on the sideline for work, so I was on the sidelines. And I'm watching Zach Wilson, and I'm like, it's the third quarter, and I'm like, he's only made 2 good reads the whole game. He's only made 2 good reads the entire game. I'm looking at it from the sideline. I'm not even on the all 22 POV. I'm on the sidelines and we're all looking and we're seeing other guys open while he's throwing into double coverage or underthrowing a guy that's open. So from that point, I hit the group chat with some of the homies that are Jets fans. I said, yo, dog, y'all need a new QB. Zach Wilson ain't it. You could tell from here on the sideline. Sometimes with the TV cameras, you can get fooled by the replays and, you know, the different angles and all that stuff. You can't really get locked in. But when you're on the sidelines, you can lock in. And I knew right away, I was like, oh, no, this dude doesn't know what he's doing. He's not up to speed. And this is 2 years ago. Crazy. Thomas in the chat, Trey Lance, we haven't seen what he can really do. Yeah, that's why I'll allow Trey Lance. I'll allow Shanahan to get this off about Trey Lance. But no way am I allowing him to get this off with Sam Darnold or even Brock Purdy, who's a 7th round pick. There's no way. I'm interested in seeing what Jordan Love does this year. I mean, we'll see. He's another one that hasn't really had a chance, and he's kind of been laying in wait. Hasn't really been because of injury, just been because he's been behind Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, we'll see. He won't have the weapons like Aaron Rodgers has now. Alex Purdy is more franchise than Darnold. Yeah, but I think, you know, Alex, I think all of us in this chat, all of us on this live stream are more of a franchise QB than Sam Darnold, to keep it a buck. And a championship level defense too. Yeah, the 49ers, I would like to see them without DeMeco Ryans. I want to see how that defense adjusts, if at all. Yes, Alex, I know Brady was a 6th round pick, but how many other six round picks we've seen, you know what I'm saying, become the GOAT, as you put in your next comment. Like, yeah, he's a 6th round pick. I think that's a 1 in a million. And Tom Brady, when he came in, he didn't have the weapons like Brock Purdy has. Like when Brady came in, what he had, what's my man's? Troy Brown. You know, David Givens. That's who he was throwing to. Brock Purdy's walking in and he's got a Hall of Fame tight end, a Hall of Fame weapon in Deebo Samuel, a potential Hall of Fame running back in Christian McCaffrey. He's got a Hall of Fame left tackle in Trent Williams. Like, he's walking into the best made scenario. Like, Tom Brady didn't walk into that in New England. He walked into a run-first, defensive-led team and then worked his way into being a good QB and then elite and then allegedly the GOAT. Brock Purdy's walking into one of the most stacked offenses in the entire NFL. To me, there's no comparison here. Brady was a 6th round pick and for a very good reason. Brock Purdy's a 7th round pick also for a very good reason. But Brock Purdy's walking into one of the most easiest situations in the entire league. In the entire league. arguably the best running back, one of the best receivers / weapons in the entire game, a top 2, top 3 tight end in Kittle, arguably the best lineman in the game in Trent Williams. Like that's a layup situation. Scrubs here, Whack Wilson. Yo, dog, Zach Wilson was so bad, bruh. Like, Zach Wilson was so bad, yo. Like, I stopped watching Jets games after that. I said, yo, they starting him again? I said, oh, I'm not watching that. Like, I'm not. There's no reason for me to watch that. Like, once I saw it live in person, because sometimes you see stuff on TV and you're not really sure. So, like, I will be watching Red Zone when I was working a lot on the road, working on other NFL games. And I'll be watching the Jets on Red Zone and be like, Zach Wilson, another pick, whatever. They would only show the lowlights, right? But once you're there and you're watching him live and direct, it's like, oh no, this dude is trash. Like this dude, like this got to be this guy was a first round pick. This guy was handed the keys. I don't know. Alex, sure, but we can't say Brock Purdy is entirely not a franchise QB given what he has seen so far, and I'm curious to see what he can do too. But I think it is really doing a disservice to Brock Purdy to say, oh, he's got franchise-like talent when he was a 7th round pick. If he was this good, why did he last in the 7th round? And that goes to Shanahan himself. Again, that's why I wish sometimes I was in these rooms. Once Shanahan gives that answer, I'm like, well, how come you didn't draft Brock Purdy sooner? If you thought he had franchise-like talent and franchise-like skill set, then why the hell did you wait until the last pick of the draft to take him? Where's the answer to that question? Because to me, that's like, you can't lie to me like that. You can say, well, we were very high on him, so high on him that he was drafted in the 7th round. He was literally the last pick in the draft. Like, if you're telling me 3 years from now, oh, he's got the skill set now. We worked with him, we fixed some things, and we got him right. Okay. You're going to tell me after 1 year? With all that talent, oh, now he's a franchise QB? No, I don't believe that. I'm not falling for that. No way. No way. No way this dude lasted to the last pick of the entire draft. 261 other dudes were taken before him, and let's see how many QBs were taken before him. How many QBs were taken before our man's Brock Purdy? And you were to tell me this guy has franchise-like skill sets? No, refuse. Purdy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 QBs were taken before him. 8 QBs. The 9th QB on the board, but you're telling me he's got franchise-like ability. Then why did you pass on him in every other round until the very last pick of the draft? Skylar Thompson went right before him in that same round. Chris, I don't even know how to pronounce this last name, Aludicon? Chris Aludicon was taken before him. Sam Howell, Bailey Zappi were taken before him. Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder with the MAGA tweets. But you're telling me Brock Purdy's skill set is like a franchise QB? No, I refuse. Stop it. I'm curious to see how he develops. But isn't it easy to develop with all that talent? If he was doing this with a bad roster, like if he was on some Justin Fields shit, that would be different. If he was out here cooking teams with little to no talent, they'll be like, oh, word, yeah, franchise-like ability. For a 7th round pick, last dude in the draft, yeah, that's insane. But you're trying to sell me that he's elite or a franchise QB when he's got Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, Trent Williams? No, nah. I'm not rolling. Can't do it. Thomas, that Drew Bledsoe injury helped Bill. Didn't want Drew to get his job back. Yeah, that's facts. Bill Belichick was really getting sour on Drew Bledsoe. So that timely injury, who was it, Mo Lewis? Mo Lewis was the one that ran down Drew Bledsoe and fucked him up. Yeah, that Mo Lewis tackle fucked up Drew Bledsoe and it ushered in Tom Brady, and they never looked back. Never looked back. Scrap Zero, number 2 pick overall, and has been number 2 in the worst way for the Jets. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. I'm rolling, Alex. Hey, look, I appreciate you playing devil's advocate. Our normal devil's advocates aren't here. Corey's not here to stir it up. Boogie Down was quiet, but I see him jumping back in the chat. So no, I appreciate you, Alex. It's no. Hey, look, I like when I get worked up, because then I can put stuff on YouTube Shorts and Instagram and TikTok of me getting worked up and all that type of shit. But yeah, no, I don't mind it at all. And I like to stir the pot myself. Like, yeah, you should know me by now that sometimes I bring topics up just to put an opinion out there and see if y'all go crazy in the chat or on the replay, people go crazy in the comments. Like, that's kind of what I do. But with me, though, I mean it. But no, I rock with you. I rock with you. And thank you. Thank you for stirring the pot. Thank you for being devil's advocate. So sometimes that's why I like the chat a lot, because sometimes when a topic is just easy, someone in the chat could turn it on its ear and then I could get into my bag and just start going wild. So no, please continue. No shade whatsoever. We are here. This whole thing is a community for me, and I always thank y'all for pulling up and being here. So that's where we at with that. Shanahan bugging out. Let's see. Where was that tweet at? Yeah, Shanahan bugging out, man. Bugging out. I see there's some new stuff that Dove is putting out. Let's see. But let me hit the chat one more time. Boogie Down, Shanahan has an ego problem. Yeah, he really does. And I think that's kind of the problem, because he thinks just because, he has a QB, then this QB must be great because he's the QB guru. Although if we really want to take a look at it, I mean, I know he did the Matt Ryan thing that one year, and he had RG3. Those, 2 years? And he's done good things with the 49ers in terms of a system, but is he really a QB whisperer? He's a great coordinator. He's a good play caller. I won't say genius play caller, because 28-3 still happened. And he was calling a lot of pass plays when they were up 28-3. But genius at the QB thing, I'm not rolling. Thomas confirming it was Mo Lewis. Okay, Mo crushed poor Drew. Yeah. Drew Bledsoe was never the same, but he went to Dallas after that, right? He was like hanging around in Dallas. Boogie Down, he wants to receive credit for the team's success instead of the QB. Nah, that's kind of, and his daddy was like that too. Don't sleep. His daddy was like that too. His daddy was trying to take credit for John fucking Elway being good. Like, wait, what? It's like, this dude was nice and went to mad Super Bowls for a decade before you pulled up, bro. Like, you want to take credit for, getting a running game with the Broncos with, TD, Terrell Davis, rejuvenating Ed McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp and all that. Okay. Rod Smith. Okay. But you out here trying to take credit for John fucking Elway? Stop. It's like, stop. All right, so I think we have some new stuff here with Dove. Let's see what Dove is giving us. An NFL general manager said that it was, quote, borderline malpractice by then Texans coach Lovie Smith to win the Week 18 game against the Colts. He said that if he was the Houston GM, he'd be, quote, furious at Lovie Smith for not tanking, per Albert Breer. The Texans won the game, but lost their rights for the first overall pick, which went to the Bears. Lovie Smith was fired following the game. Now, there's been a lot of stuff about that situation, because there was actually reporting that was done that said that there was a conversation prior to this game or leading up to this game between Lovie and the front office, and that Lovie told them, I'm trying to win this game. Now, if that's true, and he told them, I'm trying to win this game, and they didn't want him to win that game, why didn't they fire him then? I'll leave that up to y'all to answer. If there was really a conversation between Lovie and the GM at the time of the Houston Texans, and Lovie said it with his chest, with this great beard that is phenomenal, if he said it with his chest that I'm trying to win this game, and the Texans were vehemently against him winning this game, why didn't they fire him before that game? Why would you let him, if your whole thing is we're trying to tank to get the #1 pick, and your head coach is not in line with you tanking to get the #1 pick, why would you allow him to still be there to like trick off you tanking? So I don't know what's going on there, but to me, that's a story that is kind of weird because there's been a lot of conflicting reports. But, you know, taking that L for the Texans, which was a loss, but it was an L for the organization because, you know, they imagine how the draft goes if the Texans are at 1. Are they still taking CJ Stroud or are they taking Bryce Young? Are they trading down and doing like the Bears? Could they be in that position? Go with Davis Mills for another year and rack up on picks in the first round? Could they have switched up their whole strategy? I mean, I think they may ultimately love that Lovie did this because they still end up with CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. Yeah, they had to give up a lot of collateral next year to get back up to 3 from where was it 12? From 12? But if Will Anderson is who y'all tell me he is, I still have my questions. But if he's who y'all tell me he is, then that was a good move anyway. That move wouldn't, you know, there's no reason to not make that move anyway. All right, we have Teddy. Teddy checking in. He's new to the chat, I believe. What's good, Teddy? Smith got his tie. Well, I mean, if you mean he got his win, he certainly got fired. Not sure what the tie is there in that retrospect. Play the tie, not lose. Yeah, that's definitely not what they were doing. Didn't they go for 2? They went for 2 on that last possession, right? Thomas, that doesn't sound right, but you never know with these teams. Yeah, that's the thing. It sounds weird that, you know, the GM is furious. Like, I think ultimately Lovie was doing what's best for him and best for those guys to kind of go out on a good note in a more or less shitty season. Everyone knew they were tanking. They didn't know that the Bears were going to be better at tanking than them. And it kind of, you know, this was the best win that Lovie's ever had for the Bears. And this is a man that went to a Super Bowl with the Bears. But this win was bigger than all the wins that led up to them getting to the Super Bowl. Better than the NFC Championship game. Bigger than that. This was the best win for the Bears ever for Lovie Smith. He's a Bears legend forever because of this. Like he might get his, I mean, he doesn't have a number, he's a coach, but he might get honored. Like if this DJ Moore thing works out with Justin Fields and then, you know, they went and got, you know, the tackle Darnell Wright. If Darnell Wright becomes a linchpin on that O-line, Lovie Smith is going to be goated in Chicago. Goated. Now, he was horrible with Illinois. Horrible. But he may have won the entire state of Illinois back, Chicago specifically, with tricking this off. Alex in the chat. I think Lovie was overall trying to help the organization, but it was seen as an affront to it was not seen. It was an affront. If your boss is telling you to lose and you go out there and win and you get fired the right after the game, yeah. But that's the thing. If they spoke about it, if they genuinely spoke about it, then what's the problem? If you allowed him to go out there and coach that game when he told you he's trying to win that game, either A, you thought he was bluffing, Two, you thought your team was so trash that even with him trying to win, y'all were still going to lose. That's what that means to me. Either you thought he was bluffing, or you thought this team is so trash and they're ready to pack it in that they're not going to play hard. They're going to lay down and do what's right, not knowing that these are guys that are playing for their lives, their livelihood. Even when the team is trash, you still got to put off good plays on tape. Free agency year coming up, you don't want tape to exist of you laying down like a dog when things are going rough. So the Texans misjudged this in every way imaginable. Either they thought Lovie was bluffing, or they thought the team was so trash and that these players were so checked out that they would lay down and take that L anyway. And neither thing was true. And yet they get to blame it on Lovie. Ridiculous. All right, so we got that piece. Let's see if there's anything else from Dove before I move on to some NBA stuff. Bill chat room, yeah, we're not doing that. Oh, it's a full Giants schedule. Okay, so now we get to fully see. Now the Giants are at a 9.5. They're screwing them with the Eagles thing late here again. This is 2 years in a row that they're jerking them with Eagles late in the year. Both games against the Eagles late. So we've covered weeks 1 through 10 earlier in the stream, right? But for those who are pulling up here late, you see the schedule here. Cowboys, that's a Sunday night game. Yes, a Sunday night football game, home against the Cowboys. They go to Arizona to face, we're going to assume, Colt McCoy in the Cardinals. They come back home. No, they stay on the West Coast. This is wrong. Dove got this wrong. This 49er game is an away game. This is supposed to be an away game. So, matter of fact, let's go to the original tweet that I had up. Is it this one? Where is it? I'll find it again. Here we go. All right, so let's compare what Dove is putting up to what Warren had up. All right, so Dove is saying this is a home game. That's not what Warren had earlier. This is supposed to be at San Francisco. This Seahawks game is a home game. At Miami, at Buffalo, at Washington, home for the Jets, at Vegas, at Dallas. This is brutal. This is history making. To disregard the 49ers thing because that is a road game. So we'll go back to this tweet. Because this is record-breaking. 7 road games in 9 weeks, including 2 trips to the West Coast and 1 to Miami. And, that second West Coast trip is the one to Vegas. So, that's kind of crazy. This schedule is really rough. But now, even after all of that, Commanders, Patriots, then a bye week, then Packers, Saints, Eagles, Rams, Eagles. That's brutal, bruh. That is brutal. And they're 9.5. Their win loss was what, a 9.5, right? No, 8.5. 8.5 for the Giants. Win total 8.5. Do we see 9 wins on this breakdown? Do we see 9 wins? Cowboys, I'll say they'll split with the Cowboys. So 1-1. They should beat the Cardinals. I think they're going to lose to the 49ers. So we're still at 2 wins. At Seattle, they should lose that game. Still 2 wins. No, that's home Seattle. Excuse me. Home Seattle. Still 2 wins. Miami, that's a loss. Still 2 wins. Buffalo, Dayball knows Buffalo. He might be able to sneak one there. I'll give them Buffalo. That's 3 wins. Washington, they got a split with Washington, so that's 4. That Jet game against Aaron Rodgers, I think they're going to take a L, so that's still 4 wins. At Vegas, they should win that game. That's 5. They're splitting with the Cowboys. We already talked about this, so it's still at 5. Talked about Commanders. They can sweep them, but I don't think they will. Didn't they sweep them last year? I don't think the Commanders are going to let them get swept again. Still at 5. Patriots, they should beat the Patriots. That's 6. So now the number is 8.5. Is there 3 wins in these last 5 games? Is there 3 wins here? Well, really 4 because they got to get 6. So just need 3 to get the 9. Yeah, so 6 wins here. Is there 3 wins amongst these 5? Packers, Saints on the road in the dome. Thomas knows how hard that is. Pause. And then the Eagles, 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Rams should be a dub. That's 7. Packers, depends how Jordan Love is. That could be an L. But it's the Packers. Well, let's give them that. That's 8. Packers, Rams, that's 8 wins. Now, can they get one more win out of the Saints and the 2 games with the Eagles? Can they split with the Eagles? Can they beat the Saints? If Thomas is still here, I'll let him pick this game. I'll roll with whatever he's saying, but he might be a little biased. He is a Saints guy, but he also he's a football guy, so he knows. But let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Alex, you thought that they thought Lovie was bluffing. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, and they're silly if they thought that. Alex, I hate to admit it, but I want to see them crush the Cowboys. Hey, this is nothing to add. Yeah, you don't have to hate to admit that. Live your truth. Live your truth, Alex. Script 0 and the early West Coast trips includes a Thursday night game. Yeah. Alex is going to give them the 9 wins. Okay. You're going to give them the 9 wins. Okay. They beat the Packers and the Rams. Yeah, I can see that. Saints is always a headache for us. And that's what I'm saying. Like that, the Saints in that dome, that dome is different. And, with Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Olave, Juwan Johnson, and the Saints had a sneaky, pretty good draft. I don't know. But I think this split with the Eagles, 2 out of 3 weeks with the Eagles, that's rough, bro. Like even this Rams game could be a trap game. This Rams game could be a trap game because if you let's say these 2 Eagle games matter, right? Towards the division, right? For either one or maybe both. This Rams game could be a trap game. Whereas let's say you get a hard-fought loss to the Eagles, right? But you're eyeing that rematch in 2 weeks. You can overlook the Rams here and trick it off at home to the Rams. And then you're screwing yourself for that finale with the Eagles at the crib. So like the way that the way that they snuck in this Rams game is really interesting because this is a real easy trap game. Real easy trap game. So we'll see how that goes, but I think that 9. This is why Vegas always wins because that 9 number is just that 8.5 is just good enough to where you really have to sit and think about it. All right, where are we at? All right, let's come back. See if Dove got anything else for us. There's the Shanahan stuff I showed y'all. The Super Bowl rematch on Monday night. In week 11, Jalen Hurts and Mahomes. All right, so not much in regards to the schedule update. The Panthers home opener will be Monday Night Football against the Saints. First overall pick, Bryce Young. First home game is under the spotlight of prime time. All right, Thomas is chiming in. He is the voice of the Saints. Whichever Saints team shows up, they beat us a couple of years ago. Okay, so he's saying that that's probably a dub for the Giants. So, yeah, they get the 10 then. They get the 10 if they can split with the Eagles. Scrub Zero, I'm surprised they got both Eagles games so late. Yeah, they did that to him last year. I'm surprised they did that to him 2 years in a row. I believe they did that to them last year. Let's see if we can pull that up. Because I think they had to play them like 2 out of the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something. I was like, yo, they really screwed them with that. Yeah, look, December 11th, they played the Eagles, week 14, and then week 18. So they even did it to them last year. We had to play them like really close. So I'm not sure what's up with just, maybe because they assume they're going to be, division games. And I think both these games were for the division. But I think the Eagles had put the division away so early that this last one didn't matter. But at that time, with the first Eagles game, it was looking like a game that could have gone for the division. It was shaping it up. But yeah, again, faced them two out of 4 weeks. So that's very weird scheduling there. Let's see. Where else we have with Dove? Where's the Dove window? There it is. Not that much else going on with him. Chiefs and Jets on Sunday Night Football, Week 4. That'll be a home game for the Jets, so Mahomes on the road. Hopefully he leaves Jackson Mahomes, if he's not in jail by then. Let's see, what else? Let's just refresh just to make sure we're not missing nothing. Nope, still the same lovely stuff. Okay. All right. For those wondering, this is going on tonight when we get to the NBA playoffs. Jamal Murray is questionable for tonight. It is non-COVID related. Little else is known as of right now. I guess let me look up NBA Central, see if they got any tea on Jamal Murray. Oh, wow. Mark Jackson going crazy. I missed this. Mark Jackson had an MVP vote this season. Here's how he voted. Embiid, the Nigerian freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell. No Jokic? Ooh, Mark. Oh, yo, Mark. Hey, man, if you blackballed to never coach again, why not get your shit off and just cause havoc in the MVP voting? Why not? If you are blackballed in the league, why not cause havoc by leaving off Nikola Jokic off your MVP ballot? Why not? Donovan Mitchell, bruh? Spider over the Joker? Yo, respectfully. Yo, your man's Action Jackson. Shout out to New York City Point Guards all day. Point Guards, great film on Showtime if you haven't peeped it. Oh man, that is nuts. That was a real laugh y'all got for me. That was a real laugh. I did not peep that. Mark Jackson leaving off Nikola Jokic off his ballot. Hilarious. Okay, that's funny. I came here looking for a Jamal Murray update. Oh shit. The producer from The Last Dance has been filming footage of LeBron James. Okay, let's have the conversation. Is LeBron jock riding too much? I know he thinks he's this era's Jordan, and to a lot of people he is. But who really wants to sit down and watch a 10-hour doc that's going to be carefully manicured and curated by LeBron on this year with the Lake Show? Like, why? Like, unless they're going to give it up. Like, Jordan's teammates gave it up. They talked about how much of an a-hole he was. You know, we got the Isaiah drama and all of that. Like, are we really going to get the real tea about LeBron? I've talked about it on this stream. I ain't really trying to get no case or nothing, but the real tea on LeBron. Is LeBron jock riding too much? Like, you need your own Last Dance, bruh. You've been on ESPN since you were in high school. Like, the great stuff for The Last Dance with Jordan was it gave a chance for a younger generation to get to see all the shit that we saw in real life, IRL. Like, the fact that LeBron feels we need a doc on him, why? We know everything. Right, LeBron? We know everything, right, LeBron? You sure you want to put out a doc? I mean, we know it's going to be, you know, by his production company, and they're going to cut out whatever needs to be cut out. But opening that window of trying to tell the world your life, it can lead others to come out there and say their version of your life Like people try to do with Jordan. Are you sure with what people have already been insinuating about your time in Miami? Are you sure you want to do your own last dance? Because I know I've heard some things. Chael Sonnen has said some things. And a lot of that information has been corroborated. Allegedly. I'll hit the chat. Oh, man. Oh, Scrub Zero is a Giants guy. Okay, that is good to know. That is good to know. We're going to make them pay up. Nah, I mean, facts. Facts. MetLife, I mean, it used to be called, it was Giant Stadium. Now all of a sudden it's MetLife. The Jets were playing in Giant Stadium for the longest. Poverty franchise, the New York Jets. Poverty franchise. Mark Jackson going left. You know, that's facts, though. I mean, look, if you're blackballed to never coach again, why not stir up the pot? Like how Alex was being the devil's advocate in the chat. Why not be the devil's advocate in the MVP voting? Donovan Mitchell over the Joker, bruh. Oh, man. Alex, yes on LeBron. LeBron is jock rodding. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Thomas, yeah, to the 90s babies he is. Yeah, hell, even to the 80s babies. I know old heads that's like in the 70s, they're like, yo, LeBron just be jock rodding. I'm like, yo, to tell it. I got uncles that swear by that. So, yeah, facts. Script Zero. LeBron got no style of his own. Yeah, he's very much following the path of Jordan, but he thinks he's improving upon it with his own production company and the Promise School out there in Ohio and Akron. And all that stuff is great. Like having a production company is great. Low key, I'm trying to learn how to get one myself. But I mean, it's in regards to the school and player empowerment and all that stuff, that's great. But when the last time you seen someone wearing LeBrons, like as a sneaker, that wasn't hooping? Like I tried supporting Bron early in his career. I tried to wear LeBrons. Them shits were heavy, bruh. Them shits was like workout sneakers. Like them shits was like weighted. Like I felt like he was trying to give us workout shoes on the low. Like those Brons were hurting, bruh. I couldn't rock them. I had some of the early ones. And ever since then, I'm like, nah, I'm good on them Brons, bro. And I really haven't seen the streets. We still are rocking ones, bro. We still rocking J's out here. That should tell you right there the longevity. Alex, sorry, but just like they are trying to push his son, who's sorry is not the player of his dad's caliber. Yeah, Bronny's going to be good. Because, you know, he has no choice but to be good when you're the lineage of Bron and you're 6'4" and you could jump out the gym. But Bryce is the one. Just like when LeVar was like running around, you know, hyping up all three of his sons, he told you LaMelo's the best one. I think of the James gang, even though Bronny's first up, he's getting what, a $7.5 million NIL deal with you know, being that he's going to USC. Everyone, Bron hasn't said it yet, but those in the know are all saying Bronny's going to be good, but Bryce is the one. So we'll see. Boogie down, I can't stand Bron. Jokic is overrated. All right, come on, Boogie down. So you rolling with Mark Jackson? You rolling with Mark Jackson? Come on, bro. He's dropping 50 pieces in a playoff game. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, I understand if you're saying he's overrated, like he shouldn't be the MVP, fine. Yeah, like Embiid got the MVP and he deserved it, right? Hard stop. There's nothing else to go with that. But, like, you can't name another center that's better than Jokic. Like, who? If it's, I'll give you Embiid, even though that is subjective. I'll give you Embiid. Who else at that position is better than Nikola Jokic? Like, come on, man. Jokic ain't all that. No defense and soft. The defense has low-key gotten better. Still not good. Let me come off the screen. Let's go ahead and check the facts. I should have had Basketball Reference up anyway. That's my fault. Okay. I think his defensive rating was better this year. I mean, we're about to find out in a few seconds. So let me move that window over just a smidge. There we go. All right. Where is it? I hate that they make you scroll all the way down here. Let me zoom out just a taste. Okay. Defensive rating. That's in the per 100 possessions. Here we go. All right. So his defensive rating, and y'all should be able to see that. Let me make sure, confirm. No, y'all cannot see that. All right. Let me move this over just a taste. Now y'all should be able to see it. Let me make sure. Yeah. All right. So his defensive rating was a 110 this year. That's not great. But if you look at the years prior, 105. That's top tier. 105 defensive rating, like that's elite. 109, 108, 105. 105, like again, if you don't know defensive rating goes by your score, advanced metrics per 100 possessions. So the lower your number is, closer to 100, the better you are at that in regards to defense. The better you are away from 100 in regards to offense is the better you are, right? So you see offense, he's ridiculous. 134 offensive rating, 126, 130, 119. These are ridiculous offensive metrics, right? But then the defense, 126 offensive rating, 105 defensive rating, that's top tier. Now, again, is he locking dudes up? No. However, I think he's one of those team defender guys. He's not going to be a guy that's going to, take your guy and block all of his shots and do all the dynamic stuff that Giannis can do, that Anthony Davis can do, and so on and so forth. Like, he's not your traditional big in regards to defense. He's not a Mutombo that just blocks shots, but then Shaq would wipe the floor with him because he was so anemic physically that he could just bully ball him out the way. This isn't, Rudy Gobert, who is, again, like Mutombo, where he can block a lot of shots, but once you put that, put your shoulder into his chest, he falls down to the ground, or you put him in pick and rolls and he Swiss cheese. Nikola Jokic is a different type of defender. He's a team defender. And I know how we could just say, he's just not that good on defense because he's European, he's pale, he lacks muscle definition, so on and so forth. But there are numbers that say otherwise. Because if we look at this 105, 109, let's look up Giannis. Let's look up Giannis where he got his MVPs and see what his defensive rating was. So that was what? That's now 4 years ago for Giannis. Let's see, 4 years ago, where was his offensive rating? Defensive rating, excuse me. Okay, so Giannis, still a great defender, right? 108. 106, 107, 97, 99. This is why he got those MVPs. But this split is not that different than what Jokic put up in the MVP years. So when you're looking at 121 to 99, that 99 defensive rating, this is per 100. He broke the metric system in the 2 years he got MVP. And then you see the years after that, the numbers were different, but these numbers were very similar to Jokic. So it doesn't look like the math is mathing, because the defensive rating numbers is one of the better metrics in terms of, does someone play complete defense, not just shot blocking, not just stopping someone in the post. Overall defense. This is one of the better metrics, because if you look at someone like Luka, if we're going to talk about someone who does not play defense and see what their numbers are, then we can understand, or begin to understand, why the numbers are so vastly skewed, right? Per 100 possessions. All right, look at his defensive rating. 113. Okay, 113. 111. 107 here, so he played okay 1 year. Or at least good for him. This for 107 for him is like that 99 for Giannis. Okay. But you can see how that was an admiration because literally everything else is 110 and above. 109 as a rook, and then 110, 111, 107, and then back to 113. So there's a lot to make up there, but that just goes to show. And even the offensive rating isn't as great as you would think for someone who has been thrown into MVP conversations every year by the Blue Check Boys. But there's the difference. So I'm not here to say Jokic should have won the MVP, but I think not having him in top 5 is kind of silly about Mark Jackson. Because if we take Donovan Mitchell, I would love to see Donovan Mitchell's defensive rating. Because Donovan sometimes does not like playing defense. Per 100 possessions. I mean, Jokic has a better defensive rating than Spider Mitchell. So, yeah. And offensive rating as well, by the way. And so do we want to go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Do we want to go Shai? And I rocks with Shai. I love Shai. Love his game. But defense and Shai? Okay, there it is. 113 defensive rating. Now 125 offensive rating, so elite. He's an elite offensive player, but 113 defensive rating. So Jokic beats defensive metrics for players like Spider Mitchell and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So to me, that one's a little rough. Alex has LeBrons. Okay, Alex. Now, are your LeBrons heavy? Because maybe they've changed how the weight is in those shoes, but them early Brons were heavy as hell. Them Soldiers, they were heavy as hell. But my J's are better. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go. Jokic is on beast mode right now. That's facts. That's why I can't knock it no more. I was trust me, 2-3 years ago, when he was getting the MVPs, I was given the side eye. And I watch a lot of basketball, and I watched a lot of Nuggets games, but I'm more of the guy that talks about how great Jamal Murray is. And just kind of, Jokic is nice, but Jamal Murray, though. That was more my angle. Jokic is good, but let's talk about Jamal Murray. But now it's gotten to the point where it's nah, dog, we just need to sit here and just talk about how nice this dude is, man. Boogie Down, that 53 piece the other night, I mean, it came in a loss, but that 53 piece, you talking about he wouldn't last in the early 2000s or the 90s? He played like a traditional big. He played like a 90s big that night. I think, do we have the shot chart? Let's see if we had that shot chart. He was going crazy in the paint, dogs. This is Denver. Yep. Jokic. Look where he's eating. Look where he's eating. He's eating in the paint. This is paint. This is where Jokic was eating at when he's putting up a 50 piece. This is 2000s. This is 90s. Getting work in the paint. So I don't know, Boogie Down. Yes, I think your argument is for the Jokic a couple of years ago when he was winning MVPs, right? I think that's where your point about he wouldn't last in the early 2000s or the 90s. I think that was the case years ago. I don't know in 2023 if that's still the case because he's in the paint, dog. He's in the paint. Look at all that green and near the paint, dog. He's working below the restricted area. He's working. Love the shot chart. He's not even as good as Dirk Nowitzki was. I mean, it's two different players. Dirk was never in the paint. Dirk is your more traditional, all the stuff you talked about, soft, finesse, doesn't play defense. That's Dirk. That's more Dirk than Jokic. I think you're using some of the stuff that we gave Dirk and putting it on Jokic. Jokic is not Dirk. Jokic is tougher. I think low key, I don't even think it's low key. I think high key, he's more skilled than Dirk. What can Dirk do that Jokic can't? He could shoot. Dirk is probably a better shooter from long distance, but everything else is Jokic. Everything else, if we're looking at it, if we're comparing Dirk Nowitzki to Nikola Jokic, The difference, the edge I would give to Dirk is only long-range shooting. And even that's a wash because wasn't Jokic shooting 40% from three? Like, let's look it up on the screen here. Wasn't he shooting 40% from fucking three? Like, yeah, put some respect on this man, Jokic. 38% from three. 35% for his career. Like, this dude, he shot 40% his third year in the league. Like, nah, he's, yeah, I'll give Dirk the edge in shooting threes. That's about it. Everything else. Dirk didn't have handle. Jokic got handle. Dirk wasn't really, he got better in the paint later in his career. Jokic been bully balling for the last 4 years. So I don't know, man. I think we're putting a lot of the Euro stuff on Jokic. And while I think early in his career, you could have gotten away with that, I think over the last 3 to 4 years, nah, he's him. And Alex is preaching to that. Dirk is an entirely different player, though you're comparing apples and oranges with that. Yeah, I agree. Alex said the bronze are heavy compared to her J's. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, those bronze are too heavy for me, man. Those bronze are too heavy. I like light shoes. I like light kicks. Like, and even the J's aren't necessarily light either, but they're definitely, as Alex said, they're definitely lighter than the bronze. Dirk has that dog in him. If he didn't get that chip, would you still say he had that dog in him? If he didn't get that one chip, or I'll phrase it better, before he won that one chip, did you feel he had that dog in him? Because a lot of us were not saying that before he got that one chip. But get down. I don't respect any of the NBA players nowadays. They are all soft. I mean, if we're always going to compare these guys to guys that played 20, 30 years ago, then yeah, it's a different era. It's a different era. Like, some people don't believe in the era talk. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think there is no way you can't compare eras. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, LeBron is better than Julius Erving. Well, why? Julius Erving was the LeBron of his day. Julius Erving was the Jordan of his day. What makes you think LeBron is so much better than Julius Erving? Julius Erving was doing things in his day that we had never seen before. Just like we're seeing LeBron do things that we have never seen before. So what makes you think just because we're seeing LeBron and the footage of Julius is in standard definition, why do we think or just assume that the LeBron thing is better than the Julius thing? Alex, Dirk became better when he came to Dallas. Well, he never wasn't in Dallas, right? He was drafted there, right? He was never not in Dallas. But yeah, no, he got better as the years went along. Like, he was very soft. He was your traditional Euro guy. Like, if we're really going to do the Dirk retrospective, let's go ahead. Dirk, early in his career, you had all the stereotypes for him, right? All the stereotypes the first couple of years. I would say, yeah, when he became an all-star, he was still viewed as soft. When he got that chip, 2014? 2011. Okay, let's see 2011 Dirk. 2011 Dirk. Shooting 39% from three and only taking 2 threes a game, by the way. Like, so that's the thing. Like, we talk about Dirk as being this great shooter. In comparison to today's players, he shot way less than guys of today. We got guys coming off the bench taking 5 threes a night. George Niang is taking 5 threes a night. But we got Dirk at his peak taking 4.5 threes, 5 threes, 4 threes, 4 threes, 3 threes. But he's shooting them at 41% because it was a different era. That's why it's hard to compare. 3 and 4 threes was a lot in 2013. 4 threes in 2013 is like taking 7 threes today. So it's different. So it's hard to combine all these guys and say who is definitively better than this one, because the era of basketball they're playing, it is so different. And the players today come so fundamentally sound at a younger and earlier ages, because it's predicated through AAU basketball and shoe company camps and so on and so forth, travel teams and the like. Like, there's so much focused on, the fundamentals of the game that, yes, even the worst player in the league today is fundamentally more sound than a player 30 years ago. But that doesn't mean that that player is better than that player. Are you telling me like Georges Niang can beat Dominique Wilkins just because he's more fundamentally sound? He would be a better shooter. If we take 2023 Georges Niang and put him against 1988 Dominique Wilkins, just because Georges Niang can shoot and knows how to Euro, he's going to wipe the floor with Dominique? Is that what we saying with all this era talk of just, well, today's players are bigger, stronger, faster, better? Give Dominique creatine and let me see how that looks. Let me give Dominique a hyperbaric chamber and let me see how that looks. Let me give Dominique a live-in private chef protein recovery shakes and maybe that Germany surgery like Kobe. And let me see how Dominique cooks in this era. But if I take Georges Niang to the late 80s, early 90s, he's not going to be shooting 5 threes a night. How does that look then? If I take away Georges Niang's ability to shoot and drop him into the late 80s, and he has to go up against peak Dominique in the late 80s, now what? Thomas in the chat. I remember KG bullying Gasol in the finals. They were calling him soft, and the next time Gasol took it straight to him. Yeah, and Kobe had a lot to do with that. Because Kobe knew, I need this guy to man up if I'm going to get another chip. I need this guy to man up if I'm going to get another chip. Because he knew he wasn't going to get that in Bynum. He knew he wasn't going to get that in Andrew Bynum. Scrub Zero, Jimmy Butler ain't soft. That's a whole fact. I remember covering Jimmy in the Big East tournament, and it was him, Jay Crowder, Bossman 99, Vita Blue. No, was it Vita Blue? What was dude's name? He actually got some run in the NBA too. I'm forgetting. I know his last name was Blue. I'm forgetting dude's first name. And Johnson Odom, Darius Johnson Odom. I covered those dudes at the Big East tournament. And yeah, Jimmy was on that type of time even then. Jimmy was not soft even then. Pause. Alex. It was a different time even now than when Tim Duncan was playing even. Yeah, I mean, look, if Tim Duncan played today, he'd be shooting threes. If Tim Duncan played today, he would be like Jokic. He would be like, he could be like Jokic. He could be like Anthony Davis. He could be like Adebayo. Like, he could be like Embiid. Like, he would have to shoot threes. And Tim Duncan had a pretty good outside jumper, but it was no more than like 15, 16 feet. He wasn't top of the key with it. He was on the elbows. He was on the baseline with it. But now he would have to hit those corner threes. He would have to be like Brook Lopez a little bit. Alex, Dirk was more of a, if you really need those threes, you can rely on. Yeah, if you needed a three, go to Dirk. Okay, all right, Alex, all right, because I was about to that autocorrect. I was about to go in. Okay, Wilkins would crush Niang. Okay, got you. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just because, and I think that's but the problem is, Alex, the consensus is the other way. I hear a lot of stuff on the timeline and even on podcasts that I listen to, And if you need a podcast to listen to the Sam D podcast. The link is in the description. But in regards to, I hear a lot of podcasts where people are like, yeah, today's athletes would just destroy guys from 20, 30 years ago. I'm like, are you smoking? Like, what are you on right now? Like, do you know how much of a problem Dominique was? And he didn't even have good nutrition. He didn't have a hyperbaric chamber. Like, are you kidding me? Like, he didn't have chartered jets. He didn't have load management. Like, nah, like what? Like, yeah, it's weird. People are weird with that stuff. People are very, very weird with that stuff. But salute to those coming in. If you want to tap in, we're talking about the NFL schedule. The schedule has leaked. We tapped into that early. You can catch the replay or if you want to scroll back to the beginning to check that out. But, you know, we've been breaking that down heavy. If you do want a quick little, I'll give you a little. Do we have anything? Oh, no, that's the Desmond Ridder stuff. We don't want to get back into that. Let's see, where were we? Nope. All right, we're having trouble there. So if we can get some primetime games, Thursday night football for week 1, it'll be Lions at Chiefs. So we get the defending champs at the crib, and then got the Lions with no Jameson Williams because he placed a bet on a college football game at the team facility. So we're going to miss, the Lions, unleashing their new look offense. But we do get Cowboys at Giants. At least it's a division game. And then Monday night, we get Josh Allen coming down from Buffalo to face Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers' first game as a Jet will be Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. So we got that. We got some other news and notes for those looking for the Thursday Thanksgiving matchups. We got Jordan Love versus Jared Goff. Nasty game. I'll be probably playing the Turkey Bowl somewhere with some of the homies. I will not be locked in on this game outside of maybe fantasy or betting reasons. And then we have the 4:30 game with the Cowboys because that's always their spot. But they're going to be facing most likely Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett on Thanksgiving. I'm checked out of that. I want no parts of that. And then we got 49ers and Seahawks. That's a rumor. That's not confirmed. Black Friday, Dolphins at Jets. That game, to me, is the better game of that. But if you want the full breakdown of the NFL schedule, release of what's leaked so far, you could check out earlier in the stream. But let's get back to this NBA stuff. Alex, they're smoking their breakfast. Yeah, that's facts. I don't know what's. Yeah, people are weird with that. Scrub Zero. Who today is going to handle Clyde Drexler? Who's going to stop Hakeem Olajuwon? Yeah, I think Hakeem is the one there. I'm not a big fan of Clyde Drexler. I believe he's got a little bit of a fraud in him. But, yes, Clyde Drexler was definitely nice for his day. There's nothing wrong with being the 3rd or 4th best shooting guard of your era. But Hakeem, you think Hakeem can't cook Bam Adebayo? You don't think he can't cook Rudy Gobert? All the Clint Capella, Joel Embiid? Embiid had to go learn his drop step from Hakeem. Let me go get 94 Hakeem, 94, 95, 96 Hakeem, and let me see Joel Embiid do anything with him, offensively or defensively. Let me see Embiid try to stop Hakeem, and then let me see Embiid, try to get, his little post game off, which is still pedestrian, against Hakeem. The speed and the quickness and the footwork of Hakeem in the post. Please. But the big basketball news today, outside of Mark Jackson leaving off Nikola Jokic off his MVP ballot, and apparently the producer from Last Dance filming footage of LeBron James, which means it's probably a documentary of sorts in the tuck for LeBron, because the thing that we really need most is more LeBron content. There's very much a shortage of LeBron content on the internet. Look at the Suns, especially to start Landry Shamet tonight. Why? He had a good game in, what was that, game 4? Came back to earth in game 5. Now game 6. Potential elimination game. The Suns are going with Landry Shamet tonight. I don't know about that one. Let's see. I felt this was funny. Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai says basketball players are very difficult to manage. No shit, especially when you allow Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to run your franchise. No shit, Sherlock. All right, so I know y'all saw this, and so salute to the Knicks for holding firm and staving off elimination, and also the Warriors did the same thing, holding fort. But that Laker thing, the treatment of Anthony Davis, it's baffling to me how people are allowed, and not just fans, people online, that's expected, but people that are paid to be unbiased, openly laughing and mocking Anthony Davis, who was legitimately hurt last night in a playoff game. I don't understand why people are allowed to make fun of Anthony Davis. He legitimately got hit in the face by Kevon Looney. Like, you can watch the replay as many times as you want. I won't because of copyright, but like, it happened. And, you know, they did not bring him back in the game. It happened late in the fourth, but I mean, that's not, I don't think that played the outcome. I think the Warriors were going to take that anyway. But the main thing is that they were trying to avoid AD having a concussion. And the way that he was mocked and laughed at online for him, you know, needing a wheelchair, and then, you know, him walking back to the locker room and all this stuff, like, it is wild, the treatment that Anthony Davis gets. I have never seen a player this good, this talented, openly be roasted. And the fact that he's a champion, usually, like we just talked about Dirk, people stopped making fun of Dirk when he won his championship. After he won his championship, people stopped making fun of Dirk. He was no longer soft. He was no longer, you know, a liability. He was no longer a guy that's overrated. He was none of that stuff. He was locked in as a dude. He was one of those ones that we got Boogie down in the chat saying he had that dog in him. When prior to that, we would never had said Dirk had that dog in him. But now we got AD with a championship, and he was vital to that championship. Lakers don't even get to the finals without AD playing the way he did in the bubble. And the fact that we got Barkley, Shaq, your man's Friday Smith on the Full of the Network, all roasting, openly laughing, mocking Anthony Davis's injury. When have we ever seen a player that has won a championship and is that talented, this good, and still get openly mocked like this? I'm having a hard time figuring that out. I'm having a hard time trying to make the comparison of when's the last time we had somebody do this? Because to me, it is extremely difficult to navigate. Why are they allowed to just laugh at a player that's in their prime? Anthony Davis would have smoked Barkley. Smoked Barkley. And as big and as dominant as Shaq was, I think Anthony Davis would have found a way to at least make his life difficult. Shaq probably would eat because he's just going to lean on him. And he's fucking 400 pounds, so there's nothing you could do with that. And Friday Smith is just a gas bag who's a Knicks fan disguised as an analyst. So what are we talking about here when Anthony Davis is able to be as good as he is for as long as he has been? Like, again, let's talk about, he's a Hall of Famer already. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer already with a championship. He's got multiple All-Stars. He's got different accolades, 4-time All-Defensive. He's named to, NBA 75 anniversary team. He was named to the 75 best players of all time already. He's been All NBA 4 times. He's led the league in blocks. 8-time All-Star. Like, what are we talking about with a guy that for his career is 24-10, who shoots more than 50% from the floor? And who in this series alone has given you 30. Then he had a rough game in game 2. And then has given you 20 pieces, double doubles, damn near every time out. When have we seen such venom for a dude that is this nice? Give me the bad year. Look at these numbers and give me, let me scroll up so y'all can see all the numbers. Give me the bad year of all these numbers. Out of all these years, give me the bad year. You want to give me the rookie year? Outside of that, second year in the league, he led the league in blocks. Third year in the league, he led the league in blocks. He gave you a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years of double-doubles. In 3 of those years, he led the league in blocks. I just don't get the Anthony Davis hate, man. I do not understand it. That was the screen button for me to spot shadow, but I don't feel like spot shadowing today. All right, let me go back to the chat. Y'all are going in on AD. Okay, so I got to pull my cape out. Got to pull my cape out for AD. It's fine. I'll pull my cape out. Kevin Durant running the franchise still blows my mind. I think the Kevin Durant running a franchise to me wasn't the problem there. As someone close to the whole Brooklyn thing, being here that I live over in Jersey and knew people in that organization, the Kyrie thing was too much. Now Kevin Durant spearheaded it, but the Kyrie part was too much. Thomas, people are idiots. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's weird that they're making fun of him for being hurt. Like, that's wild. Boogie down AD is a crybaby, and he's always injured. All right, cool. LeBron has missed more games as a Laker than Anthony Davis. Just saying. Listen, AD soft and mainstream media is garbage. Well, I agree with the second part. Mainstream media is garbage, and that's why I like that y'all pull up here to get a different take on media, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do here with the content that I put out, is because since I work in media, I can tell you how this stuff is figured out and broken down, and then I could give you the real on my channel. Alex, this man was legit hurt and a Hall of Famer for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's just weirdo energy by people in the media. Barkley would get cooked by, you know what Anthony Davis would do to Barkley? Even peak Barkley. After Barcelona, 92, 93 Barkley, drop him today in the league and watch what Anthony Davis would do. And put Anthony Davis into 1993, 94 and tell me what happens. AD wouldn't do anything 30, 40 years ago. 30, 40 years ago. So 30 years ago would be what? That'd be 93. No, I disagree. You put someone who's 6'11", 7 foot with a crazy wingspan that can run and jump out the gym. You don't think that would do anything in the 90s? That's Shawn Kemp. What's Shawn Kemp doing in the 90s? And imagine if we gave Shawn Kemp a jump shot. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, like, you know, no shade, Scrub Zero, but that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, if we look at what Anthony Davis can do well, right? He is an elite defensive player. We can all agree with that, at least here in the chat, right? Y'all can think he's soft, but the man is a defensive genius, right? A guy who's that good on defense wouldn't excel in the 90s? Think about what y'all are saying. A guy that has led the league in blocks 3 times, that has been on the all-defensive team 4 times, that guy wouldn't play well in the 90s? John Sally is cooking Anthony Davis? Is that what y'all are really saying? Charles Smith is going to cook Anthony Davis? Is that really what y'all are out here saying to me? J.R. Reed is going to cook AD? Are you shitting me? Is that where we at right now? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that. I'm here for y'all. I'm trying to have a real conversation with y'all, man. But y'all, and I'm here for people to slander AD. I'm not saying he's above slander. When he plays bad, kill him. That's the pressure of being the guy that he is. When he's hurt and y'all feel he's not legitimately hurt, you want to kill him for being load managed? Sure. But you better kill Kawhi. You better kill LeBron. You better kill Paul George. You better kill Embiid. You better kill all these dudes. Scrub Zero, he got all this talent but never made an impact until he got another high-profile player on the team. AD, a good sorry to... Yo, Scrub Zero, he took a team to the second round with the Pelicans, bruh. He swept Dame. He swept Dame. Like, what are we talking about? He swept Dame. This year right here, 2017, they swept the Blazers. And that was a good-ass Blazer team. And then they lost in 5 to the Warriors. Yeah, they lost in 5 to the Warriors. But look at what he did to the Blazers. 35-14, 22-12, 28-11, 47-10 in a closeout game. 47-10 to sweep the Blazers. 47? Come on, man. And then even in defeat against the Dubs, and this is the Dubs with KD. Double-double, 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 double-double. 34-19 in the elimination game. Come on, man. Come on, man. You're saying this, Scrub, and you swept the Blazers and had Rajon Rondo and Boogie Cousins before he got hurt. Yes, I agree with you. The problem is this, right? Find me Boogie Cousins. Find me Boogie Cousins. He swept the Blazers with Nikola Mirotic, not DeMarcus Cousins. Yes, he had Rondo, and Rondo dropped all of 6 points. 17 dimes because Rajon Rondo's a point god. But, like, come on, man. He swept the Blazers, dog. He swept Dame, and people felt Dame was better than him at that point. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to stop with these narratives. It's okay. It's okay to just not like somebody. You can just say, I don't like AD. Okay, cool. Cool, I'll fall back. But if you're trying to give me facts, the facts better fact. Like, serious summary. And again, the Blazers were a 3 seed. Pels were a 6 seed. And he went out there and cooked them 4 straight. And you see that defensive rating? You see that defensive rating? 100. 100. 123 offensive rating. 100 defensive rating. And Jrue Holiday, who's known for his defense, had a 111 because there's levels to this shit. AD had a 100. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to stop with these narratives. I understand AD can get roasted for many things. But when it comes to this shit right here, nah, man. Nah. Nah. He's him. He's him. He's that good. He's that good. Don't let these people online trick y'all into thinking that what they say is real. Because they're just saying shit for clicks. And the whole thing of, alternate day and all that stuff and street clothes, that's just shit to get clicks. It's not based off actual facts, because these are actual facts. This man played 9 straight games in the playoffs and had a double-double in every single fucking game. Blades has proven they are a bunch of frauds with Damian Lillard. We know that, book. Yeah, I mean, we know that now. We know that now. People weren't saying that then. These people were not saying that then. The Blazers were a team on the come up when they had Nurkic, they had Dame, CJ. Like, they had a bunch of dudes. Zach Collins, they had a bunch of dudes. Now we can say, yeah, that squad wasn't really all that, but not in real time. In real time, they were a 3 seed. Your record is your record, right? You're not impressed with Dame? All right. I mean, hey, that's I mean, I don't know what more Dame got to do to impress you, but that's a hard one for me to believe. We also going to admit that the Blazers had no big men. I mean, Yusuf Nurkic is a solid big. Nurkic is a good big. He just ain't AD. AD ate him up. AD did what he's supposed to do. Your best big is Yusuf Nurkic? Guess what I'm doing? I'm doing 47-10 in an elimination game to sweep y'all up out of here. Let's see that box. Yusuf Nurkic. Nurkic had a good game, 18 and 11. He had a double-double. But he also gave up 47 to AD, while Drew went crazy for 41. And Rondo, the point guard, had 16 dimes. Okay, Scrub, I respect that. I'm always down for agree to disagree. You know what you've seen, and he's not him. I know what I've seen from AD, and to me, he's him. He's him. Thomas, so what, go for LeBron, win left Cleveland to team with Wade and Bosh. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if we really want to get into players, you know, leaving and becoming the man somewhere else and needing help, like if we're going to kill AD for, you know, teaming up with Bron to get a chip, are we not killing Bron for teaming up with Wade and Bosh to get a chip, then teaming up with Kevin Love and Kyrie to get a chip, and then teaming up with AD to get a chip? We not going to kill Bron for that? We going to have this documentary come out? He getting his own last dance off? He's going to be able to get his narratives off like it was all him? When it was clear that he's trying to extend his career by teaming up with young, good, elite players? He didn't have a real relationship with Kyrie, but he knew Kyrie was nice. He knew Kevin Love was nice. I'm going to go link. Wade and Bosh, he had a relationship with, more so Wade and Bosh, but they had a relationship. So he could get the narrative off, oh, he just wanted to go play with his mans in them. All right, cool. Then explain to me Kyrie and K-Love. Those were not his mans. AD, Rich Paul did the work there, made sure to get him down with the clutch thing. Then all of a sudden, magically, he gets traded to the Lakers. Hey, hey, Scrub, let's go. If you think I'm bad on AD, it's worse for, hey, I'm here for it. I think LeBron be skating. LeBron be skating. Just because he's the GOAT of this era, he gets to skate. So I'm here for it. If you got the time, I got the time. My batteries are charged up. The laptop is good. Like, I can keep streaming. This is the longest stream we've had in a minute. We haven't had a 2-hour plus one probably since the draft. So I got time tonight. So if it's air out LeBron season, I'm here for it. I mean, we could talk about how he looked last night. Y'all king with an elimination game. Y'all king. Pedestrian numbers to me. For a guy supposed to be the GOAT. Yeah, I know he's on 1 foot, but 9 of 17. At least he shot the 3 a little bit better, but I didn't really feel like he was impactful in the game. I just didn't get the sense that he was really active in the game. Do we need to go to the shot chart for Bron? Let's go to the shot chart for Bron. Let's see if we can figure out the hell he's going on. This shot chart has been really great. And as you can see why the Lakers lost. Look at all these threes. Just too many damn threes. Just too many. Look at all these threes they missed. It's too many threes. And even they missed a lot of bunnies too. But let's go to LeBron. Okay, here's the problem with Bron. Bron's supposed to be a power forward. LeBron James is a power forward at this point in his career. I don't need all this. Do I need to pull out the telestrator? Let's go ahead and pull out the telestrator. I don't need all this from Bron. Okay? I don't need all this. I don't care about the ones that he made. Don't care about these at all. It's the fact that he's taking all of those when he could be down here. When he could be down here. This is where he needs to be at. Who gonna stop him from getting down here? JaMychal Green? The habitual nut hitter? Draymond Green? Who's stopping him from getting here every time? This is where he needs to be. Let me get the circle. All of this is supposed to be him. All of this is supposed to be him. But unfortunately, he's out here. He's out here. He's out here. Don't need that. You are not young enough to be out here anymore. You need to be down here. That's where you need to eat. But we can't get that. We can't have nice things. So now we got to go to a game 6, which will be at Crypto, aka Staples, and we'll see how that goes. I think more than likely AD is going to play based off all reports so far, barring a setback. And I think the Lakers will take care of the Warriors in 6, but this is why it's a missed opportunity, because LeBron is playing on 1 foot. He needs all the rest he can get with that 1 foot. He needs all the rest he can get on that 1 foot. And, he's not going to get the rest now because he couldn't get the job done last night. They get the Warriors done in 5. They might have had like 4 or 5, about 5 to 6 days off. Probably more so 4 or 5 days, but there was a potential if the Suns thing goes 7 games, if the Suns Nuggets go 7, they would have had like 5 days off for LeBron on 1 foot. Now we got AD coming off getting elbowed in the grill. Bron still on 1 foot. And now we got to figure out what the hell Laker team we're going to get. They're at the crib, so the role players will play better. D'Lo had a good game. See, sometimes you can just look at where the shots are. Are players playing within their games? Let's see. AD. He was in the paint. Now, he missed all of these. That was problematic. But he was in the paint, right? Lonnie, who was the hero of game 4? Game 4. Didn't really give you that much in game 5. Schroeder, he did what he was supposed to do. Austin Reeves, he's the GOAT, and not in a good way. Because when he's able to penetrate, these bunnies can't be missed. I don't mind missing from 3. I don't mind the misses from 3 because that's part of his natural game. But the midi and the bunnies, that's the problem. So I think it'll be interesting, but I think the Lakers will, and I think even me and Scrub Zero agree on this, that I think the Lakers. No, that's the wrong one. But I don't want to see LeBron pushing off all night and selling for BSC. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why isn't he on the block? With the size advantage he has and all the skill set and the basketball IQ, he should be a monster on the block. Like, if we're talking the real talk about LeBron, that's where the difference between, and I'll come off the screen here to talk my talk. That's where the Jordan, Kobe stuff stopped for LeBron, because both Jordan and Kobe realized, I'm getting old. I need to go down to the block and start to cook people that way. Use my brain instead of my body. LeBron in year 20 is still trying to cook people with his body. Now, there's a reason why he thinks he can cook people with his body. But ultimately, he's 38 years old, and no matter how many hyperbaric chambers he has at the crib, you're 38, bruh. You're 38. It ain't happening. You're not cooking nobody physically. Yes, you could get a running start and you could run people down every once in a while, but nah, bro, you 38 is year 20. Take your ass down to the block, get that fadeaway popping, get that drop step popping. It can work in today's NBA. And therein lies the difference between Jordan and Kobe, realizing my body is getting older, it is atrophying. Let me take it down to the block or the elbow and do work. LeBron's still out here top of the key trying to bulldoze people like he's 27. No. Learn that post game. And there we go. Lakers probably going to win game 6, probably about 10 plus. Yeah, I would say, I think the Lakers definitely going to win. I think they better win. I'll put it like this, because if it goes to 7, all bets are off. All bets are off. They can trick off a 3-1 lead. They're not immune to that. They're not immune to that. And that will be justice for the Dubs. It's not the same as the finals from 2016, but that would be a taste of revenge. And the team going to carry the king, and the king finna get all the credit. Yeah, that's facts, though. That's facts. Yeah, he doesn't have any post game, and that's the thing with him that's always been weird to me, because didn't he go to Hakeem Olajuwon and try to learn? I remember that being a thing, in Miami. Didn't he go to the Hakeem Olajuwon camp and learn some post moves? You're 6'9". You can't do work in the paint. I wish, let's see, shooting. Yeah, let's get Bron shooting from distance, right? He took the most shots, and this is why I love this. I love Basketball Reference, because we can really, really get to the shits. Look at this shit right here, dog. Field goal attempts. Where did he take the most at? 3-pointers. You're 6'9". 6'9", you took 463s. What is going on? And you're shooting 30%. The bulk of your shots are from three-point land, and you're only shooting 31% from 3. (39, 40% at the top of the key. The midi, he's shooting 35%. And at the rim, in the paint, 49%. And at the rim, 78%. Why the hell are you all the way out here with the most shots from 3? Have y'all heard anyone else break this down like this? With LeBron James, the bulk of his shots were 3-pointers. Why is the people on the 4-letter network not talking about that? Why are the people on TNT not talking about that? This is hella problematic in year 20. You chucking up shots like you're with the Dubs, and you're shooting 31%. This is why y'all come here, because I get to the real numbers. Crazy, dog. All right, Boogie down with his narratives. I'm going to just let that, y'all can read that at your own leisure. Scrub Zero, LeBron needs to take his ball and go home. Don't know who want to see this boy get carried. Yeah, he's going to, though. I think they make it out the West. I don't think they win the chip, but I think they make it out the West. And I'm saying it for betting reasons. So I'm not a Laker fan. I'm not even a LeBron fan like that, but yeah. Script there, he went for a bit and stopped for some other reason or another. Okay, so he did go to the big man camp for Hakeem. Okay. And Thomas saying the same thing. Yeah, I think he went. He was supposed to do some work with Hakeem on the post game. I mean, but why do we think he stopped? Am I going to go work out with Hakeem or Miami? I might know a guy. One day, I hope that comes out. Scrub Zero. Yep. Yeah, he thinks he's Steph. He thinks he's Steph. 463s, bruh. 463s, and he's shooting only 31%. That's below league average. League average was 34, 35% this year. Crazy. Because talking about his shot selections is too much truth. Yeah, that's why, you know, the stuff that I put out on here doesn't become the viral stuff or whatever like that, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. That's fine. I ain't begging to go viral. But this is the information for real people that want to understand what the hell is going on. Because I'm that way. I want to know what the hell's going on. Why is someone who's 6'9" in year 20 out here taking almost 500 fucking threes? And of those 500 fucking threes, he's only hitting 31% of them bitches. The hell is going on? But that's y'all king. Chosen one to cross his back, right? All right. Look at all this shit. Look at the jump shot, dog. The jump shot. 824 jump shots. And of those jump shots, only 35%. That's including these threes. Dunks, 97%. Layups, 66%. Jump shots, 35%. Take your ass to the block, please. Like, this is what I'm saying, dog. Like, this is how, if you really want to know information, it's right there. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The numbers are right here, dogs. Mans is shooting even at the crib. Look at these numbers at the crib. At Crypto, a.k.a. Old Staples, 219 threes. He's only shooting 33% from the crib. And on the road, he's shooting less than that, 30% on the road. Stop taking the threes. But, you know, if you let the timeline tell it, I remember there was a clip maybe like a week or two ago of, oh, every time LeBron, you know, spins the ball and looks at it and shoots it, it's wet. I'm like, what games are you watching? This man is 31% from three the entire year. You putting together a little 2-minute clip of him looking down at the rock and making a three and saying he does that all the time? He's 31%. Oh, y'all got me worked up today. This is LeBron shit. LeBron, yeah. It's. The Lakers are still going to win, though. And I think that's the funny shit about it. Like, even with him being this bad, they're still going to win. Because the Warriors have no paint presence. Their best defender is 6'6" and is a habitual nut hitter. Thomas, 6'9", 270. You need to be on the block like a big. That's facts, especially when you're 20 years in. 20 years in? This ain't Cleveland versus Detroit where you could just take over. You ain't running down Tayshaun Prince no more. Yeah, that's their king. It really is. It really is. You know? He's really going to give us a last dance, yo. I bet you that shit's going to be 20 parts. Because he think he Jordan. He's got to one-up Jordan. Just like Kobe tried to one-up Jordan. I'm going to come back and wear 24 after after my situation in Colorado, I'm going to come back and be one better than Jordan. I'm 24. I'm LeBron. Jordan had a 10-part doc. I'm going to have a 20-part doc. And it's going to be my production company that runs it. And it'll probably be right here on YouTube. And the shit will do millions of views. Like, it's just going to be, oh, man. It's sad. It's sad. Sad but true. Sad but true. All right. Let's see. I'll hit the timeline one last time. Let me see, have we missed anything? Is there an update on anything? Some of y'all, I don't know if y'all caught the stream yesterday. You probably didn't have a chance, but there was a hot take trade yesterday, and it was by Colin Cowherd. So make of it what you will. This is not the take, but he's doubling down on the take that was akin to what he was suggesting yesterday. Colin Cowherd says Jason Tatum doesn't have a killer instinct like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He's much more Wiggins than Kobe and MJ. That's just him wanting to say the hot take. But the funny shit that he said was yesterday. Oh, wait, Lakers were irritated. Okay, whatever. All right, so let me see if I can find it from yesterday. There was a trade proposal. And since some of y'all weren't here yesterday, I would love to get y'all feedback on it. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. Colin Cowherd thinks the Warriors should trade Jordan Poole for Jaylen Brown. Warriors would receive Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon. The Celtics would receive Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. And I asked y'all in this chat, who are very educated basketball fans, why in the hell would the Celtics ever do this? I'll hit the chat and y'all can take this trade. And now again, he's not saying this is going to happen. He's not saying this trade has even been discussed. He's just spitballing the trade. But I ask you all who know a thing or two about basketball, why in the hell would the Celtics ever do this deal? Scrub zero. But think about it, all these physical gifts and all these accolades, but he's a career 27-7-7, but he's the GOAT. Nah, bruh. Now that's facts. You know, I got youngins that, you know, I rock with, and, you know, they tell me LeBron's the GOAT. And I'm like, but you haven't seen Jordan. Like, all you know of Jordan is The Last Dance. Like, I'm telling you, as someone that saw Jordan in IRL, in real life, for those who were unhip, nah. Nope. Nah. Like, even Kobe, nah. Like, Kobe is the closest Jordan clone we're ever going to get. LeBron is Magic Johnson. He's this generation's Magic Johnson. He's Magic Johnson that's allowed to score. Magic Johnson wasn't allowed to score because he played with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the early part of his career. And that really wasn't really his game anyway. He was a facilitator. Bron is also like that. He's a natural facilitator, but because his teams were so trash and the teams were built around him being a scorer, he just had to score and pass and facilitate. Like, that's what it was. But, you know. Yeah. All right, now that I've given y'all time to respond, y'all responses are what I would expect them to be. Scrub zero. How does that trade make Boston better? That's facts. And here's a little trick about media. And sports media specifically, as someone that's worked in it for 14 years. Colin Cowherd said this knowing that we would say this. And ultimately, and I just did a media conference out in LA a couple of months ago, and Colin Cowherd was at that event and spoke at length about takes like this very one. And he said, I say this stuff because I know it's going to get traction. I say this stuff, and he doesn't really care what you or I think about it. He just knows we're going to have a reaction to it. So this is me showing y'all this is the dirty secret. So when we see stuff like this, normally, when I see stuff like this, I ignore it because I know it's just a trick. I know he's just saying shit to get clicks. But because I'm now doing a stream and I'm in a way trying to peel back the curtain to show y'all how this media shit really gets down, I'm now showing all this stuff and giving you the backstory of he literally admitted this is why he does this. Because a site like a Twitter account like this that is built on aggregation is going to tweet it out and it's going to credit him. And then he's going to get clicks and retweets and mentions and whatever. And he doesn't care if it's positive or negative. He just cares that there's responses. And that's the game. Thomas, that doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do that trade. Nobody. The Celtics aren't doing this trade. That's the trick. The Celtics aren't even doing this trade. I bet you if you would pull up Brad Stevens, who I call the boy genius on my podcast, the D City podcast, link for that is in the description. If you would hit up the boy genius Brad Stevens, say, yo, you see this trade? Would you ever do this trade? He would laugh hard as hell over the phone. Now the Warriors would do that trade in a heartbeat, but the Celtics would never do that trade. Absolutely never do that trade. Absolutely not. Script Zero, I usually ignore it too, but as it's presented to me, but some of that respect, I'll give you my thoughts. And no, I respect that. And look, again, I'm only doing this just to show y'all the game. And I'm glad that, you know, Scrub Zero, you've tapped in here and, you know, we've been able to link because I'm trying to find people like yourself that knows this is bullshit. I'm trying to find like-minded people and build a community of sports. I won't say fans, because to me, the fans is like a weird word, but people that enjoy sports, like me, like Scrub Zero, like Thomas, like all the people that pull up, Alex, Alexandros, Boogie, all the people that pull up here on a regular basis, Lombardi Elite when he pulls up, even Derpy when he's wilding out, like all the people that pull up here and contribute. You know, Joshua hasn't been here in a while. I hope Joshua is good. But like, you know, all the people that have been, you know, regulars, we look at this from a different perspective. And that's what I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with the fans who just come in and want to hear someone talk, you know, great about their team and tell me why LeBron's the greatest and I'll like and subscribe. Like, I don't play those games. I don't play those games. I don't do shit for clicks. I don't do shit for retweets. I don't do shit for subscribers and all of that stuff. Like, I just come on here and talk my shit. If you cool with it, cool. If you're not cool, I'm cool with that too. Like, but I will find people that are cool with it and I will rock with them. So salute to y'all. I think that's probably, let me just do one more quick check of the timeline, see if there's anything we're missing for tonight, as there's plenty of games. Well, I guess we can just do quick predictions for tonight. So what are we looking at tonight? We're looking at 2 more games tonight. We're looking at, who is it? Suns, Nuggets. And then who we got? We got Boston and Philly. So Boston, Philly will be first. And then we'll have Denver, Phoenix, and Landry Shamet is starting tonight. I don't know who's that in place of. Is that in place of Okogie? Yeah, so we have Boston, Philly, Denver, Phoenix. I wonder who is Landry Shamet starting in place of? Let's see if we can find that out before we wrap up. Man, good boy. Desmond Ritter, he changed those likes real quick, huh? Desmond Ritter changed out. Somebody got in them DMs like, hey, you about to trick the bag off, dog. They ain't go after Lamar just because of you, dogs. All right, Scrub Zero's got the Celtics and the Chicken Nuggets. Okay. Let's see. But why is Landry Shamet starting? Who is he starting in place of? Gambo. I don't know who Gambo 987 is. Let's all find out together. Oh, he's a sports radio guy. Oh, because Ayton is out tonight. Ayton's out tonight. Excuse me. Ayton is out tonight. So they're going small. That is interesting. Okay, so let's run that real quick. The Suns are going to go small with no DeAndre Ayton. Is that what y'all would do? It's not worth dusting off Bismack Biyombo or Jock Londale, who's been cooking way more than Ayton. Ayton had a decent game in the last game, but he's been trashed this entire series. But Landry Shamet had a good game 4, but I mean, I don't know if that's worth the start. I would go Jock Londale or Landale. I don't know how that's pronounced. Okay. Thomas, I seen Jackson apologize to Jokic. Oh, word? Let's see if we can find that. I'm almost afraid. Let's see. That's 2 hours ago. Copyright. Also, that's who Barkley was talking about. People like that shouldn't get a vote. He's a damn idiot. Because I remember Barkley going off. I didn't know this is who. Okay, so it was Mark Jackson. That's hilarious. Okay. Okay, so I guess Mark Jackson went on Sirius XM NBA radio. Mind you, full disclosure, I used to work on NBA radio, Sirius XM. I was a producer over there, worked on damn near all these shows, including the one with Termini and Eddie Johnson. Okay, so they had to call him out. Okay. So he apologized, I'm assuming, on that interview. Oh, this is his Twitter account. This is really him? Yeah, it is him. Made an honest mistake with my MVP votes. My apologies to Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. He's not only a legitimate MVP candidate who deserved my vote, but he's truly one of the greatest all-time greats. Again, my apologies. Ooh! Who put the call in? This is as of 10 minutes ago, about 8 minutes ago. Who put the call in? Somebody put the call in. Because again, I'm telling you, I can't say how I know. Mark Jackson's blackballed from coaching. So, and he, having an NBA job with the stuff that he got away with, that could be, a sign of why he's having to walk this back. Because he represents the league. He's a broadcaster with the league. He represents them every broadcast. So, yeah, it's a bad look. Donovan Mitchell over Jokic, that's a bad look, man. That's a bad look. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, deserving, but not at the expense of Jokic. And an honest mistake. Come on, Mark. You're from New York, bruh. You're from New York, Mark. That's not an honest mistake. You know what you was doing. But Barkley called you out subliminally, and now, you got to run around and do interviews on Sirius XM NBA radio, which is owned by the NBA. Full disclosure, they're owned by the NBA. So, if there's a problem, if someone pops up on NBA radio, it's because the league put the call in. Okay? Hey, go clean this up on our own airwaves. Like, this little tweet is cool, but you better go clean this up on our own airwaves. Okay? Sirius XM. So, yikes. So apparently we got quotes now. All right, Chris Mannix. I thought this stream was done. I guess we're still rolling. We'll get through this and then we'll roll out. Yeah, that's gonna block up the screen. So let's just take it from here. Okay. One thing I live by: you make a mistake, you own it. I'm not a guy that does it for clicks or to be trending. Yeah, he didn't know that this was gonna get blown out of proportion. Absolute mistake made by me. You can tell. I probably am thinking, how did I make that mistake? You can tell I put 1 center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards, so I wasn't even thinking. Come on, man. I apologize. Okay. And he is a top 10 center of all time. Okay. I don't know if Boogie Down is still here, but I wonder what he thinks about that. It's a top 10 center of all time, so I own it. If you want to take away my vote or do whatever, more than welcome. I made a mistake. He deserves, in my opinion, to be clearly. I would have still voted for Joel Embiid, the MVP, but with Giannis and Joker second and third, they deserve that. Incredible year by him. He continues to make history. I own the mistake and I apologize. Yeah, this is definitely a cleanup. I will leave y'all with that. That is definitely a cleanup. Because that was not your ballot, sir. And I don't think you made a mistake. Because it's not like this is the first year he's ever voted for MVP. So, yeah, that's a hard L for Mark Jackson. But I will leave y'all on that. Hell of a stream today. Damn near 3 hours. I never would have thought the NFL schedule and, Kyle Shanahan talking crazy about a 7th round pick QB and, discussing if Dirk Nowitzki is better than Nikola Jokic would give us a 3-hour stream, but away we go. Yeah, Scrubs, big facts. Mark Jackson done goofed. Yeah. He's blackballed, bruh. he's blackballed. So, you know, he's lucky to still be associated with the league, to be quite honest with you. From the stuff that he got away with saying, and, you know, he lost that Golden State gig, and we know what Steve Kerr did with it the minute he got in there. Yeah, he's lucky to still be in the league. Because if you see Tim Hardaway, if you look at what Tim Hardaway did and the reaction to that, the Mark Jackson stuff was even worse than that. And you see how hard it's been for Tim Hardaway to get back into the good graces of the league. So, yeah. Unfortunately for both, because I liked both growing up as an 80s baby myself. Mark Jackson and Tim Hardaway were those dudes, but they spoke their truth a little bit too close to a microphone, and it's been curtains for them ever since. So I will bid y'all adieu on that. Thank y'all for pulling up. It's been a great stream. Definitely has some clips pulled from this. We all got into our bag, so thank y'all in the chat. I will be here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Same thing. I know how I do. Finish off the week strong. We'll get the full layout of the schedule at 8 o'clock. So I'm sure there'll be somebody on here doing live streams on that shit, but it won't be me. I'll be watching these NBA games. So we'll be breaking down the NBA games from tonight on tomorrow's stream, and we'll get the full NFL schedule. We'll flush that out on this stream here tomorrow. So salute to y'all. I will catch y'all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new edition of Timeline T. I am your host, D. Sam D, a.k.a. Sam Duesmay Jr. Peace. Have a good night. Be safe.